Hey, what's up, guys? Hartman here. We got another Frenchie Friday. So we're gonna be hopping into a Frenchie pretty quick off the rip here. And then we'll probably just do two Frenchies today, but I'm open to doing something different for the second draft if you guys want. But I'll say what's up to you guys, then I'll count it down. We'll hop into a Frenchie. Hey, what's up, Kale Elliott? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Frenchie. All right. Shouldn't be a question on Friday. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. What's up, Brett? Brew Crew? Thanks for stopping by, bro. All right. We're definitely starting with a Frenchie. Just if anyone had like a strong preference. I didn't know how people were feeling about the sprint format, but if you guys are liking it, then yeah, we'll just rip Frenchies. What apartment? It's Friday. Let's get it, brother. Hell yeah, Gab for Life. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Gab for Life is actually just live a little bit ago, ripping. I think he did some BBMs and some Frenchies. But all right, we'll hop in and I'll count down quick. So we'll hop in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in, waiting for one for the Frenchie sprint. Oh yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about this. There's a guy on Twitter. He kind of makes like cool like fantasy tools, and he has like on his website you can review your portfolio and stuff. I think this is actually his website, fantasy.vip. But yeah, I forgot I had this one up right now. But it's pretty cool overlay, and all his stuff's actually like totally free to use. You if you guys want to know, I can link his like Twitter and website if anyone wanted to know. It's a guy on Twitter. His name's Michael. It's at like OOOF. Um, but yeah, he makes like a lot of cool like best ball tools and stuff. Like the website was pretty cool too. I was on there last night, like messing around, like looking at my combos and stuff. The website is similar to like going on like Solver website, but it does have some cool features that like I don't know, just like there's like a lot of data. Like I didn't even look at everything, but like there were a lot of different pages and stuff of the data and stuff to look at with your portfolio and everything. I'm sure like as the summer goes, it'll kind of be even more fun to look at it more. All right, let's see what we got in this draft. So we got I see FK Coolers at the 6, Batweed at the 5. I'm not sure if they're in here, but I know that name a little bit. Brew Crew at the 10, Kale Elliott at the 11. I think that's all I noticed right off rip, but if anyone else in here, let me know. Um, so for the sprint format, I guess the thing we're really looking for is like who has the strongest combo of these schedules, right? I think like the Chargers have a really strong playoff stretch, right? SF, Miami, Kansas City. Kansas City could be a little bit tougher, but I think we expect that to be kind of a more like medium defensive matchup. And then their games can just kind of go off, like just being that divisional opponent and stuff. But the other games like SF and Miami, those look really good for the Chargers. But just in general, I guess I'll try to focus on just more like a stronger trio of those weeks. Week 17 isn't all that matters in this contest, obviously. All the weeks are weighted equal. So it's like, a great week 15 matchup is the same as a great week 16, same as week 17, right? And I guess maybe that's something we could have locked into a little bit more before I hopped right in, but I don't know. I like to just rip the drafts. I guess with this contest it'll probably be close so fast. I'm not sure like how super in depth I'm going to go into the research. Like how full is it already? It's at 11%. It only dropped a couple hours ago. Like this contest will probably close by Monday, so maybe I'll figure out some of my favorite ones just kind of throughout. Like Minnesota's nice, Detroit, Washington, Jets, right? Um, but I don't know. I probably won't go like super deep, I guess, into trying to figure out like sprint because I'm probably gonna only I don't know, like I'll probably do just some this weekend, but I'm probably not gonna try real hard to get like super heavy volume. I like the sprint format last year, and I probably did like 40 something or close to 50, but I can't really see doing like a whole bunch more. Um or like being like super interested. That was mainly like overlay chasing. Saquon would be fine. Yeah. Yeah, we can go Saquon. Uh Let me see. Oh, okay. It should show my exposures and stuff now too. I forgot to hit the little connect button. What's up on pick 5? Oh, what's up, Babby? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, okay. I thought I recognized you from maybe like Huhaim stream or something, but or maybe like Nice and Blunt or something, but I wasn't sure. But thanks for stopping by, bro. Uh, so here I guess we're seeing like it seems pretty normal. We see AJ Brown hold up there. Um, a little bit interesting, but I don't really think your overall strategy changes. I guess with like no pods, maybe it would be a little bit better to play to like advance into the sprint format. Although with like a close to 4,000 seat final, I guess you really just need to optimize for that, right? With as many people make it into the sprint, you probably just need to optimize just for that. Yeah. So I guess stacking up those games and everything would just be a lot more significant. So that's definitely something I'll keep a better eye on of like just making sure I try to stack out my games better, stuff like that, kind of all throughout. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I mean, sprint strategy, I don't really know how much it would change. Maybe like you could argue like, I think the elite quarterbacks would maybe be a little bit better, but it's kind of hard to say because if you can just like get, quarterbacks kind of in that 7 to 10 range and get multiple, then you're maybe getting similar upside. Because I was gonna say maybe the elite quarterback gives you like the unbeatable edge in the sprint format, right? Because maybe they're just like a Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, like one of those guys is more likely to give you that like giant spike multiple times in the playoff weeks. So maybe I would move up like the elite onesies a little just because if they can give you multiple like huge weeks, that probably gives you like a huge edge. Like you need that guy to win type of thing, right? Like if you get like two Brock Bowers like 20 plus point weeks or two Josh Allen like 30, 35 plus, like, or one of them's like a 35, 40, one of them's like a 30, it might be pretty hard to like match up to him. But even then at quarterback, I guess with certain combos, you could probably make it up. It would just be like if they just absolutely nuked one of them, like a 45 or something, like one of his better games of his career. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the tight ends though are more worth it because like I could definitely see Bowers in a multi-week slate, like a 3 week, like giving you the edge over some of the other tight ends, like more so than the quarterbacks do because the quarterbacks are a lot more replaceable. It is kinda hard to say, though. I think maybe that could be something to, like I don't know. I mean, maybe not with the tight ends. I guess with the tight ends, you just can't, like, punt it too hard because you do wanna make sure you have a decent weekly scoring ceiling since every week matters, right? But I guess you don't really need, like, an elite or anything. It's kinda like the same case because then if they don't spike in those weeks multiple times, then it's like you just kinda overspend. It's like in theory, maybe it works, but only if it just, like, happens to parlay, right, where they spike multiple times. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess more just the strategy is probably just stacking, like, good games together in the sprint weeks. I guess you don't really know what good games are gonna be, but stacking games together maybe, like, just trying to build more correlated lineups in general. I guess maybe that's just more the idea. Um, Buffalo, Philly. I mean, I guess Chicago goes with Buffalo a little. Uh, I mean, neighbors here. I think we just take neighbors. Like, he's a guy where, yeah, just the playoff weeks. I mean, he gives you so much upside. I guess he's falling right now for the injury, but I'm still like happy to take neighbors at the 3-4 turn. Maybe I change my opinion on that soon. Uh, I think we'll just go T Higgins. He's the best player available. There wasn't too much else I could have done. Like I could have stacked up like a Scatabo or something, but or like Burden had that week 15 stack with Buffalo. That would have maybe been a consideration, but I just think T Higgins overall, like, just weekly ceiling is probably, I guess, maybe similar to Burden, but just in season long, you feel better about him spiking more. Probably has higher like season long touchdown upside. So we just go Higgins there. And then I think, I guess maybe kind of like in a normal draft, right? You kind of build the correlation out a little bit later. It's not like right away I need to worry about trying to like stack everything or like reach to get a correlation in round 4. maybe sometimes I would do that, but I don't need to be like super concerned. All right, and then we can check out some of the other teams too. So Cale Elliott, yeah, I mean pretty balanced. Jefferson, Hampton, Williams, Ladd. So you get Ladd and Hampton stacked up. Big Chargers bet. I mean, I like that. I like doing the big Chargers bets. And then they have a pretty nice schedule too. So like, yeah, I mean that's definitely a nice one. 'Cause what is that? That was SF, Miami, and Chiefs. We said, but yeah, no, that's pretty nice. Brew Crew pulls up London a little. I don't mind that at all. Like, London, I mean, he just dominates targets on that team when he's healthy, right? And if you like Tua too, then I mean, I think London's like a total smash. I'm actually decently into London where he goes. I don't pull him up a ton because I do kind of lean towards the running backs like Walker, like Henry. Um, but I think pulling up London that can feel pretty good. He's definitely like the top receiver I would pull up in this range. I don't hardly ever pull up like AJ Brown or Nico. I'd be kind of open to it, but usually if I pull up a guy, it's always London. And then Josh Allen, decent price. Scatabo, love Scatabo. Yeah, that's a nice start. Coolers, 3 running backs, good price on Jacobs. Zay is kind of the anchor. I like that. I like that. That's solid. I mean, JT Walker, that's like my favorite start. Like I probably have too much JT Walker combo to be honest. So I love this start. Um, well, oh, Batweet, JSM, Bowers, Travis Achan, Jalen Waddle. Yeah, I mean that's solid. I guess early, it's hard to not build solid, but no one's going too crazy. FK is a little unbalanced, I guess, but 3 RBs out of your first 4 picks isn't all that uncommon these days. And I'm sure he'll figure out how to build out of it. Uh, Anything else? Tootin kind of getting pulled up. I'm kind of interested to see if Tootin like I don't know. I'm interested to see where he kind of settles. It feels like he's kind of moving up. It depends on the room a little bit, but it feels like in general he's just kind of creeping up that 5th round. I wonder if we see him get like I don't know, get on the 4 or 5 turn like regularly. It sounds like C-Rod should probably be back to practice. Not like soon, but it doesn't sound like it's like an injury that's going to keep him out like a long part of the summer or anything. It should be like relatively soon that he's back. So I don't think Tootin will really push up to the 4 or 5 turn, but I don't know. The hype on him's getting a little bit crazy. I kind of wish I would have picked more sooner, but I don't know. I'm still fine with him at a 5th round price, but I don't love it over all these other running backs. Like it's hard to see him over Swift for me. That's kind of a big one where like I don't know. They both play on good teams. Swift has Monagai, but Tootin, it's like Swift, you actually know he's pretty much locked in as a starting guy. He's a good pass catcher. Like, I don't even really like DeAndre Swift. I mean, I'm a Lions fan, so like I kind of hate him, but like, I don't know. It's hard to see like Tootin over Swift. I guess maybe like the true upside's higher with Tootin because like, Swift won't be like a 300 carry guy ever, but I don't know if Tootin really would be ever either, but I don't know. I think maybe Tootin's upside is just higher just because, like, I think the Jaguars' offensive upside's higher, especially in the running game. Um, and like Tootin could probably consolidate more than Swift. Maybe not as a pass catcher, but like rushing work. Like maybe in the like, biggest bull case. Do we just go Burrow? Probably not. I mean, they do actually, yeah, let's go Burrow because I love that playoff. I love those playoff weeks. Carolina, Indy, Baltimore. Warren goes before me to Brew Crew, but because that would have been kind of in consideration with Burrow. But yeah, I love those playoff weeks with Carolina, Indy, Baltimore. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that feels good. And then, just Burrow Higgins, that always feels good. I don't know. In the 6th round, I do end up grabbing quite a bit of quarterbacks. A lot of times there I'll just go like Tate or BTJ or something. But I don't know. I really don't mind grabbing a quarterback in the 6th. That usually feels pretty good. I did start out pretty balanced. So quarterback kind of feels good there. Kind of keep going with the balance thing. Yeah, I think that feels fine. Anytime you take Burrow with Higgins, it feels fine. It's like not a value by any means, but it's like a fair pick, I feel like always. And Burrow does have that 50 touchdown upside even, or easily 40 touchdown upside, but 5K yard upside. Like, he has the most passing upside of probably any quarterback in the league. So, or at least equaled any quarterback in the league. Um, so, he always feels fine in the sixth. He is obviously more fragile just with no rushing. He's just a pure kind of pocket passer. But as long as he's healthy, the upside's really there, right? Um, yeah, that feels good there. Let's see what else going on. Yeah, I don't know. Warren, that was kind of an interesting pull up. I I don't know. I don't have a ton of Warren because I do pick the quarterback so much and like some of these receivers. But but I don't know. It does seem like he seems like a really solid pick. Like you're just not gonna get any low weeks out of him. He's almost for sure gonna lead them in targets, right? I mean, I guess yeah, like Warren would have to be the pretty heavy favorite to lead the Colts in targets. Like even though, even if you're a Josh Downs enjoyer, I'm a Josh Downs enjoyer, but I think Warren will get more targets than him. And they use him everywhere. It's just he's gonna be so consistent. He's gonna be like the main weapon on that team in the passing game. I mean, it does I don't know. It does start feeling a little pricey for a tight end just because tight ends are so good down the board, but I don't know. I guess I can see it with Warren. Warren could end up with like kind of like what Trey McBride did last year, right? I mean, if the touchdowns work out a little bit better for him. I mean, like what did Warren's year look like really? Like how many? Yeah, it's like if that 112, I mean, with Pittman gone, it's like I feel like you could easily see Tyler Warren go up to like 140, maybe even more. Maybe that starts getting a little bit dicey, but with Pittman gone and no one really replacing him, I mean, I don't know, like Tyler Warren's target upside, it could be up there with like the true elite guys like the Trey McBrides of the world. Maybe not quite as much like Trey McBride last year because they were throwing 40 times a game, but could be up there with what like maybe Trey McBride's is this year. If they pass at a more normal rate in Arizona and then Tyler Warren's kind of the lead receiver in that offense. I don't know. I should definitely get a little bit more Warren, but definitely not in drafts with Brew Crew. I mean, who knows? I don't know if that's a normal pull up for you, but I think it's fair. But I'll just get my exposure elsewhere. I don't need to snipe you in the fifth. Right. All right. So let's see. What am I looking at here? I mean, Alec Pierce would be good. Stacks up, right? Or not stacks up, but bring back. Um, that would be good. Jaden Reed would be fine. I know Pierce is falling because of the ankle injury. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There hasn't really been any news like this week. I don't feel like, I think I'm still just clicking them. Maybe I am kind of taking the fallen knife a little bit right now. But I am still clicking them at the moment. Do we go Jaden Reed? I mean, I hate their week 17, but I guess maybe that's kind of a thing, like a reason to kind of pick them with this format, like get them for the week 16 with Chicago instead of the week 17. I don't know. That wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind that. But and then I can also get like Jordan Love too, so hopefully get a stack out of it. But I was thinking a little bit about those quarterbacks there too, like the T Law, the Mahomes. I was thinking a little bit about them, but I don't know. I think I'm happy just kind of building out my receiver room there, getting my fifth. I started with a strong double anchor. Maybe next turn I probably look at like quarterback, running back, maybe. Um, I'm not sure. It kind of depends what falls to me. Could look at tight end as well. Just depends what falls, especially around here, like this. I don't know, in the 100s. I feel like there's kind of good picks at each position. Usually it's quarterbacks. I mean, quarterbacks, tight ends, running backs are all good. I usually don't love the receivers in this range, but even some of them, like Pittman and stuff, are good picks. Um, but yeah, so I'll just kind of see what falls to me. Kind of hard to say what I'll go for, but I don't know. Maybe tight end, maybe running back. Um, let's see. Cooler is going with a real intriguing build, 1610. I mean, Is he auto drafting? These are all like top ADP picks. I mean, like they're decent values, but like 161, I don't know. That's a wild build. Maybe in yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a wild build start to me. I mean, maybe you're just gonna rip off like 9 receivers or something, but yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by that one. I have 28% Warren. I knew you would get him. Okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I would have definitely considered him because and I have been mentioning a little trying to get a little bit more Warren too. So yeah, I probably would have picked him, but I don't mind the Romo Dunze. His foot will never be the same. Hopefully he figured out how to run again, I guess. But I don't mind the Romo Dunze. I was a big Rome guy last year. He was really cooking early until he did get that injury. And then, I think the scary thing is those younger guys kind of came on later in the year. But I don't know. Rome did seem like the alpha early on. And it seems like he did have that upside to kind of be like the main red zone weapon on that offense. And he's also the cheapest main pass catcher. That's a big point too for Rome. If I want piece of the Bears, it's easy to just buy the cheapest one. But yeah, I would have really considered Warren then for the game stack too. But I don't know. I got my Burrow, got my Rome. That's fine. All right. Pittman won't make it. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, at least in this draft, I'm probably pretty good anyway. I already got 5 receivers. You never know. I could take the 6th, but he was probably safe from me anyway. Um, no promises, but he was probably safe. Where is he? Either of you guys gonna snipe me on Jordan Love? This guy might. Kale Elliott might. If you have to, you have to. Do what you gotta do. Damn, Sam Laporta went. That would have been sick if I could have got a Laporta Goff. I would have done that for sure. All right, you take Pittman. Fair enough. I wasn't gonna take Pittman Brew Crew because I already have 5 receivers, but I had to put him on the queue as a bluff. I probably want a tight end. Yeah, okay. It's Pitts. Oh, he didn't take Jordan Love. Okay, cool. I'll take Jordan Love. I thought for sure he was gonna take him. And then we do have a little stack with that with our Chicago. I'll probably need to get some Miami pieces because I think I have 2 pieces of their playoffs now. So we'll take Love first, and then I think it's just Brooks. It could be Pitts. I do have less Pitts, only 4%. Could be Rashad White as well. Let's get more Rashad White because I don't have hardly any. And that was kind of an oversight by me. Like I've even mentioned it on stream a few times, like being lower on him than I should be. But I don't know. I've just had a hard time getting Rashad White, I feel like lately. And then earlier I was kind of clicking more Aaron Jones. But like lately, I just feel like I've been having a hard time getting him. And he is kind of moving up. So we'll grab Rashad White over my guy Jonathan Brooks there. And I think I really did want that second QB, had it stacked. So I think that makes sense there. But yeah, get a little bit more Rashad White. I'm quite a bit overweight on Brooks. I have 17%. So I mean that's probably good. Warren gives you flexibility to wait on tight end until you want to pull the trigger. Oh yeah, totally agree. And like I think that's the really nice thing actually with like Tyler Warren kind of over over the guys that go below him for sure. Like Fannin will be consistent, but he won't have the upside probably. Like he'll be somewhat consistent because he has such high target volume, but maybe not. But either way, like Kraft and Laporta won't be nearly as consistent, and I don't even think Loveland will be as consistent as Tyler Warren. Like Tyler Warren's just gonna have such a consistently high weekly target share. I think that like that floor and ceiling combo is gonna be really nice all year. The only thing is like why he probably goes a little bit later is he probably doesn't have the true ceiling like Loveland does as like a downfield winner in that offense. Maybe he could, guys. I mean, Warren can kind of win everywhere, but like, they kind of have peers to do that. Like Loveland's probably a better, or almost definitely like a better like downfield winner than him. So that's the only reason he goes higher. But like Warren, I think probably even gives you better weekly floor and similar ceiling probably. I don't know. We're 2 years removed from Rashad outright losing his job to a 5th-round rookie, repeating history. God, I hope so, Paul. I hope so, Legion. we're big Katron Allen guys. Unless you meant JCM, then I hope not. But I'm a big Katron Allen guy. I have 30%. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I only had like 3% Rashad White. So I do want more. I want to just buy pieces of that Washington backfield in general, I think. Whether it's JCM, Rashad White, or Katron's kind of my go-to one, but I definitely just want to buy pieces. And I think Rashad White, it's pretty clear he's gonna be the best pass catcher, right? And the best like receive or the best pass blocker too. Um, so I just feel like that gives you some like security in his role that you don't have as much with JCM because he is a little bit more like he can catch a little, but he's not really a talented receiver or pass blocker. I know they said they're having him work on that a lot this summer, but we'll kind of see how that goes, I guess. But even as a runner, he's more like boom bust, not like a super high success rate guy. That's kind of why C Rod got so much work. And then like I think that Katron Allen, he'll be a high success rate, like short yardage guy, right? Like he has really good vision, really good patience. I think, his main like lacking part why he went so late in the draft is because he doesn't have any burst or like speed really, right? So I don't know. I think he could maybe take some of the valuable work from JCM there at least. Um, but yeah, but I do want more Rashad White. He might get the receiving workload. Or he almost for sure should get the most receiving workload. Uh eh, we'll take Kincaid. Um yeah, I mean I needed my first tight end. I could just go likely as well. Um I don't have to though. I have Diggs right now in there. We'll see if it took likely. All right. We got Kincaid likely. That's a fine tight end room. Should give me like really high weekly upside. Maybe not as much floor. So maybe like a guy like I don't know, Pat Fryermuth, Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz would be amazing on this team probably. Um Pat Fryermuth would be great, but I don't know, just like probably a third. If I can get like a higher target volume guy, that would be nice. But even if not, at least this gives me like really high weekly spike week. Both guys who can win like, downfield, like big plays. Maybe, likely will probably have a pretty good role. Kincaid is always going to be on a little bit more limited snaps. Apparently he's healthy now though. So I don't know. We'll take both those guys. They can definitely spike big for me. Two guys that I think I'm lower on both of them, but I don't know. I don't mind getting a little bit. What's up, my boy? Hey, what's up, Zero? Thanks for stopping by, bro. We're ripping some sprints after. Oh, we're in the sprint right now. This is the sprint right now. But yeah, we'll keep ripping them. Rashad slander is wild, my boy. What did I walk into? Oh no, well, I mean, Paul had the Rashad slander. I mean, hey, Rashad isn't the best rusher. Like, let's be honest. Like, he's not the best rusher, but he is a good pass catcher and pass blocker. So, you're getting something out of him. Maybe he takes over as the main running back just because JCM is kind of that like boom bust guy, but I don't know. Rashad White, he feels like a fine pick, and I want Commanders pieces, right? What's up, Harper? Hey, what's up, Mr. Mufasa? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Rashad lost his job and still paid off 50, 60 ADP that year. Um, Paid off? Did he pay it off? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I mean, as late as he went, maybe you'd call that paying off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He has gotten replaced before, but Bucky's also the GOAT. So, but no. C Money, GM. Hey, what's up, C Money? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Steve O Speak, how's it going? Hey, what's up, Steve O Speak? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Steve was on earlier with Steve was on earlier with Nice and Blunt. And then Meg was on earlier with Best Ball Guy. Yeah. I like the way you said Kincaid. I must say it weird. I don't know. I can feel almost a little bit of an accent the way I say it. How do you rig these to get all no badges? Yeah, that is kind of crazy, huh? Yeah, we cooked. We cooked. I mean, Batwheat's in the chat. He's just a no badger. He's getting into it. probably Sharp though. See, that's the thing nowadays is like there's so much like content or just like different stuff with best baller has been around long enough. Like now you got no badges that already know how to play. That's the scary part. But no, we did and Brew Crew too. And Brew Crew is the same thing. Two of the people are in the chat with no badges. So part of it's a little bit of stuffing the ballot box. But yeah, we did get a little bit lucky, with this little stretch. You got lucky kind of being right in between it. Um Respectfully, of course. Oh, what's up, Cooler? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Diddy wasn't he going in the Zamir White range, 5-6 round? Yeah, no, I mean that was the range for sure. I see a virgin in there with a gold badge. Oh, yeah, that would be our pal FK Coolers. Uh, I faded Rashad. Or is there another? No. I faded Rashad that Bucky rookie season. I had 20% Bucky, but to say they lost his job wasn't really accurate. It just became a two-head monster led by a great Bucky year. Yeah, no, I think I kind of agree with that. I mean, I guess we could also like look at it if we want. Um, okay, I'm up on the clock. I'll make my pick quick. Uh, who do I want here? I don't have too much stacked up. I really like Denzel Boston. He gets the Giants. He gets Indy. I have Indy pieces. I have Giants pieces. Uh, yeah, I don't mind that. Um, I just like him as late as he goes. Maybe Charbonnet. Just the late season hammer, right? All the reports have been really good lately. How much do we buy into the June ACL reports? I'm not really sure, but I don't mind a share here and there now. Now that like all the reports are good and stuff, I don't want to be left out if we do get to July, August, and it looks like he could be back week 6 or something like that. So I'm gonna click a little for now. I think it showed I had like 7%. I wouldn't mind being at field. I think he goes late enough, but it's definitely not one. Once I'm kind of closer to field, I'll back off a little. I don't want to be like really overweight on Charbonnet or anything. I would just like to get some now in case he rises later, type of thing. Um, but yeah, don't mind it there. Late season upside, sprint format. Hopefully he's playing all 3 of those weeks and hopefully he's starting even. Might be a little bit far fetched, but by week 15, it could be possible, especially with the good reports. My bad. I left that up for a little while. My bad. But yeah, no, I think I pretty much agree. I was gonna look at Rashad. That's right. I wanted to see like where did he finish that year? Share this real quick. So he was okay. This is PPR. My bad. Yeah. I mean, he was still RB 24 and half PPR. So yeah, it's like he he was fine, right? But I think it's just like I don't know. He was fine. He was fine where he went. So did he pay off? I think with end of year finish, probably. But also he was just a really bad like best ball pick because most of his good weeks came early in the year, I believe. Or at least I know he had like a decent spike early, maybe even 2 decent spikes early. But I think that was kind of the thing is later in the year it was a lot worse, right? Um, but but yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Bucky was also probably a talent that I definitely like I'm a huge Katron guy of like 30%. I would be really shocked if Katron's a talent like Bucky. I mean, Katron just doesn't have the like tackle breaking ability that Bucky does. He's decent at forcing missed tackles. Like he's not a bad running back. Katron's kind of just like solid all around, just with like pretty poor athleticism. But like Bucky's actually like an insane guy when it comes to making defenders miss. Like he's one of the best in the league. And like coming out of college, he was one of the best like college prospects, like in a lot of like multiple years. Um so yeah, like I don't think Katron will be like a Bucky level rookie either. So that I don't know. I don't know. But maybe Katron and JCM with how their skill sets pair, maybe that is enough to take enough rushing work away from White where like he doesn't have the breakout year, but also like his price is so low. How much does he really need to do to pay off, especially with running backs pushed up? I mean, like when we look at it, like what running back number is Rashad White? Like in the Okay, late 30s, 38. Yeah, so I mean, to pay off that price or even like beat it by a decent amount, he only needs to finish. Like if he finishes as a low end RB2, you're pretty happy with your pick probably, unless it's just like, I guess, really low production. I guess it kind of depends how it comes since it's best ball. But if he finishes as a low end RB2, that's in theory a pretty good pick where you got him. So I don't know. I don't mind the Rashad White bet, like I was saying, but I don't know. I think just spreading out picks on that offense is probably the way to play it. Or with those running backs at least right now, this early. I think it's just Rodgers here to get me there. You got to get there, bro, don't you know? Yeah, I think we'll just go Rodgers. No one else was really speaking to me. I did say I needed a Miami guy because I think I have pieces with all their games. Or no, I guess I don't have a Chargers piece, but we can get a third tight end. Greg Dulcich, as we've said, lion's share of 20 targets a game probably, but he also did stack up with a couple of my guys, couple different weeks. So, get some correlation in there. I don't mind the Greg Dulcich pick. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was probably the right move. Maybe Zach Branch, he's a big riser, but receiver feels decent. I don't know. It's probably the third tight end there. Like Freiermuth would have been fine too. I did pick Rodgers. Maybe I should have pulled up Freiermuth. I guess I kind of, when I saw Dulcich on the ADP, if I'm being totally honest, I forgot to even really look for Freiermuth because I was just like, oh, it's Dulcich. Freiermuth's obviously gone. Not the case, but yeah, I probably should have looked to do Freiermuth. I didn't. I just kind of was thinking like, because I mentioned earlier I wanted to get a Miami piece, and Dulcich is like one of the only Miami pieces I feel like I'm picking right now. So I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about I need that Miami piece, and I'm like, oh, get the tight end, and I just kind of forgot about Freiermuth since he wasn't on the screen. That was I mean, I think it's still fine. It's not like I need to stack my third quarterback when I had like decent quarterbacks already, anyways. But it would have been probably better to just stack up Rodgers. But I don't mind Dulcich there. Bucky is the worst RB to pair with Rashad because Bucky is so explosive in receiving game. That's true too, but I mean, but Rashad is a great pass blocker. Isn't this the Kenneth Gainwell thesis why he's going to kill Bucky in the receiving game? Um, but like, yeah, no, that's true. Bucky is explosive in the receiving game. He scored 174 half point PPR that year, so he definitely paid off. Yeah. What up? Hey, what's up, Buddy? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. No bad is rocking sidekicks. Oh fuck. Yeah, no, I mean, it might be the case. It might be the case. Now you hear there's this tool, it'll just draft for you. It'll just be perfect, every time. You'll be better EV than any human could ever be. No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some. I guess I didn't look too close at like the people I didn't know his team. So I don't know who's a sidekick builder. Maybe like this one. I mean, this feels like a yeah. There's the zone Stribling even probably like this guy at 4. Like if I had to pick a guy who might be using it, I mean like Coolers or something might be using it. I don't know, but like um, if I had to pick a guy based on their team build that's using it, it would probably be this guy at 4. And that's with me not being a huge like I don't know the sidekick maybe as well as some others, but I just feel like some of the picks just like they fit the vibes, especially this little pocket like Worthy, Downs, Conception. Jordan Mason was just kind of a good price, but like Stribling too, Stribling kind of being the smoking gun. This may be a sidekick draft. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. There might be some. There might be some. Hey, Coolers, leave the no badges alone. Hell yeah. Yeah, Brew Crew is a sharp. See, that's the thing, Brew Crew, though, or Brett, that's the thing, is like when you're the no badge, like people just assume you're gonna act all crazy. So it almost like gives you the advantage, because you're a sharp drafter, but they don't think you are. So it's like, I don't know, they think you're a wild card. So if they see you like ahead of them, they're gonna be like, oh, better pull up my stat quarterback. He might snipe me. even though he has a different stack and you're like, no, I wasn't going to do that. I'm just going to take the like, receiver who fell 5 spots. But it's like if it was like a silver badge or something, then they'll be like, oh, well, I'm just going to push my quarterback because they're not going to take him on stacked. They wouldn't do some shit like that. They've been drafting too many of these. See, so there is a benefit to being a no badge, I would say. Um, I mean, in some sense, I don't know how true that is, like how much it would come out, but like I think it can be a little bit true if you're like on the turn and the guy's next to you. How much does that really gain you? But like they might push you a faller to like secure a stack where like if it's like coolers with a gold badge or like even someone with like silver badge, whatever on turn, or just any badge, maybe even they might like not they might push their stack quarterback rather than just snatching it before you because they might be more worried about you taking it or something. So it can work out in your favor. Hi, kid. The badges don't mean much. Yeah, no, that's true. It's just money spent. Money spent. I mean, regardless of whether you won or not, it's like money spent and money put in. Um, Money put in pot. I'd still call that losing his job. He went from the clear 1 to 1B at least. Yeah, no, I would say he lost his or let's say I'm just saying he paid off his EDP. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, obviously lost role, still played a lot, scored 23.9, 13 point. Oh, okay. Huh. I guess I didn't know that. I did not remember that. He still had usable weeks. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Scored more than Gibbs week 15, 16 last year. All right, buddy. Chill out. That's fair and non-derogatory. You can be derogatory, lol. I was never a Rashad guy, but he's overhated now. Even PFF ranks him top 12 RBs. We bringing up PFF now. No, I mean, I do think like he's so clearly the best receiver on that team. That's where like you really feel secure with that pick, where you you feel pretty safe that he's going to have a solid role, right? Maybe there's a chance. I guess I don't know. I was gonna say maybe there's a chance he gets like cut or something because he's not making much, but that just doesn't really seem likely. I've heard that maybe floated, but they do have some other pass catching running backs on the roster. They do have like quite a few running backs on the roster right now. But yeah, probably Rashad, right? They don't bring him in just to cut him and no way, because all the reports at camp have been like rave reports about him and stuff. Or at least like, this week or whatever, he's been getting some good reports from camp. So yeah, Rashad feels pretty safe. Are we okay? I'm like 2 minutes behind. We're good. I've had the diff of upset is there. Yeah, no, that's fair. Bucky's skill set is horrible fit with Rashad, but JCM and Katron are a threat to Rashad's strengths. Yeah, because neither one's really a great receiver. Katron's a decent receiver, like in college, but like he's kind of more a receiver, like a catch it and fall. Like, he can run little swing passes and stuff, but like he just doesn't have like, I don't know, the elusiveness and stuff. Not elusiveness, but like, I don't know. Yeah. Like the ability to get open downfield or anything or really run like real routes like that. So yeah, no, I kind of agree there. And Rashad White still was a good receiver. He's always been a good receiver. I'm taking Dulcich over Muth 8 out of 10 drafts. Yeah, well, I was just thinking because I had Rodgers, because I picked Rodgers right before. Okay, that's just where I'm at. Yeah, and stacks, I'll take Muth. Yeah, I also do have quite a bit of Muth. So to be fair, I have quite a bit of Muth with Rodgers. I'm a fan speak slappy in that sense. The Muth and Rodgers, I pick it quite a bit. If he hits, he hits. Oh yeah. Every player is just a 50-50. Either they hit or they don't. Yep. I use no tools, only my cell phone. I would say I'm probably like a 95% phone drafter, to be honest. I'm like 95%. Cell phone is a tool, brother. Back in my day, we used to tally scores with pencil and pad. Hell yeah. What's up, fam? What's up, Williams? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Check out Who Ames if you don't know. I'm sure y'all do. Yep, I might get BBO this year just for my exposure combos. I'm drafting more than ever. No, and I mean, I think BBO is like really solid product for tracking the combos. It's like, I don't know, it's really nice. I think I can actually just I just show my BBO as well. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, like BBO is really nice for let me refresh it quick. Sorry. 1 second. All right, there we go. Yeah, like BBO is really nice for like this part where it'll show you like like just each player's combo. You just like scroll right over the guy, and then it's like, oh, okay, 100% of my Jordan James is with Boston because I have one share. But like, it is pretty cool to be able to see that. Um, but all right, so we'll go over the teams quick, and then I'll hop into another. Smoking guns, what fuck? Bro, I remember saying that, and I don't even remember what it was about either. God, I can't remember. It was either about the No Batters or Rashad. Damn it, I can't remember what that was. I remember saying it too. That's unfortunate. I used to be sharper before I got my badge. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. You get like too best ball brained, it starts ruining you. UD tools need to have the raw dog turning, no tools allowed. Yeah, I mean, apparently most of the drafters are just phone drafters anyway, so the tools might not be in there as much as you think. I guess just like if there's one or two though, then I guess yeah, that's still like if the tools are that good, then that's still taking away the EV and stuff, right? So yeah, it would be kind of nice. It would probably just be too hard to manage. It'd have to be a mobile only. They'd have to do a mobile only tournament, which I would love. If they did mobile only, I mean that'd be a sick tournament. I would do it for sure. Um, because like I said, I'm like 95% mobile drafter. No badge is nice to have. Yeah, yeah, it can be nice for some stuff. And like most of the time, I don't really think it matters. Like to be honest, I don't think people are trying to snipe more if you have the bigger badge or not. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't I don't know. I don't really consider it much, but like it's probably better to have no badge than a badge just in general. If I was thinking if either one has any advantage, it's probably better to have no badge because people think you're unpredictable. And then if you're not, then it's like it probably kind of helps because then they can't like predict you as easy. They're more worried about like you sniping them or something. Um, so it probably can be nice. I'm pushing all stacks. I don't care if you have diamond badge or none. Hell yeah, zero. Hell yeah. You get the value. You get the value or you don't. And then it's like, if you don't get the value, then yeah, you just get a different quarterback stack. Move on. And you get those quarterback stacks and you get good prices. I dare you to ruin your own team. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I barely reach. Yeah, no, I'm not much of a reach guy either. Sometimes I do for the stacks a little bit. I'm not too bad. Like, I don't know. I think I'm usually pretty reasonable about it. Like all my picks here were obviously like right in line, but sometimes on the turn I'll get a little bit desperate for a quarterback stack. Like this room was pretty normal for QBs, but sometimes I'll get a little bit desperate and I'll like pull one up, especially if I'm close to the turn. Um, or they flowed last year that Josh Jacobs could get cut to. Yeah, no. I no, I'm off that. I'm off that. I flowed that take for 1 second. We're off that take. And all the camp reports have been good, and he's cheap too. He's making like 2 mil. Yeah, yeah. Friends with JD5 cooking at camp. Yeah. I was just thinking. I'm thinking out loud, but I got off that take. Still doesn't mean he's actually good. That's the thing. I don't think he's a very good runner, but he is a good pass catcher and pass blocker, and I think that's been shown multiple years. They have said they want to get JCM more involved. So if you believe JCM can really make a step in that department, then I think that's a totally valid bet too. Because JCM is a more explosive player in general. So if they can get him like the ball in space, he's probably more valuable to get the ball in space than Rashad White. So I don't know. There is that. I just don't have a ton of faith in JCM just as like his low capital as a runner. He has some like really nice moments, some really bad moments, right? And you just kind of see that in his profile, him being the boom bust guy. And that can get you some big spikes, but it does seem like it'd be hard for him to really take over like as the consistent top workload guy in that backfield to me. But I'm fine with making bets on JCM too. I think it's such a high upside offense and they're cheap enough. They're like one of the cheapest backfields in general to get the first guy in that backfield, right? Um, so yeah, in general, I just want to be making bets, but I think obviously I'm playing it mostly through Katron, and I'm probably more comfortable with Rashad than I am with Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt at the moment. Redskins RB1 is valuable no matter who it is, right? Totally agree. He's fine. He's explosive, just vision's ass. Yeah, JCM, this must be JCM, which is funny because his vision and pass pro is elite. It's funny. Or wait, are you talking about Rashad? I mean, he is getting up there though. He's getting up there. The explosiveness, it doesn't stay forever. Oh yeah, agreed. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Plus the easy 15, 16, 17 glances, I usually just memorize all that anyways. Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Um, Plus the easy 15, 16, 17 glances, I usually just memorize all that anyways. Oh, because you were talking about the tools in the mobile. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I kinda like them being there, but it's like, I like them for this, for the sprint. Like, if this was a summer long tournament or something, I think that can be, like, kinda beneficial, but, only really early because like, once you kinda have them memorized, then yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. It can be nice though, like, I don't know, I mean, maybe you're just really good at getting them down, but, like, to me, it's a little bit hard sometimes to remember, like, "Oh, yeah, that's a week 15," or something if I'm, like, debating guys. Sometimes it'll hit me, but then sometimes I'll just kinda miss it, if I don't have, like, the visual reminder, so that's a little bit for me in the sprint, but, like, week 17, I always, like, know that, like, pretty much right after it's out. Maybe the first week or 2, you mix up a couple like, 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, like, week 17, I always know, but, like, the 15 and 16 in sprint formats, those will get me a little bit if, sometimes if I don't have, like, the visual thing, especially since, like, you do worry about 15 and 16 normal tournaments, but I think, obviously 17's like the big one, right? The big final. But in this, it's like they're all equal. So it's like 15's just as important. So I really want to dial in on it like equal. I dialed in a little bit on it. I didn't go too crazy with the stacking, but I did game stack. Like I think all my quarterbacks, at least I got 1 or 2 with them. I did game stack a couple out, but all right. I only got a couple comments left. Then we'll go through the teams, then another draft. Okay, hear me out. Rashad is basically RJ. However, if RJ Harvard didn't have Dobbins on his ass, was a better pass protector. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of those Commanders guys are as good of a runner as Dobbins. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if Rashad White. I mean, yeah, they're both kind of bad runners. That's not a bad comp. That's not a bad comp. If he's still got the juice like that, then that's not a bad comp. I don't know if I feel as confident he still got the juice like that, like Harvey does, but yeah, I mean, good pass catcher, bad runner, like it kind of fits. And there is no Dobbins. I don't think JCM's Dobbins. At least the pure runner, I don't think so. 60-second pick clicks, no ADP or list. Have to type in names in order for them to pop up. Oof. I mean, that would be kind of hype, but like type in names is a pain in the ass. Like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm down for the type in names. I would I mean, it would be kind of fun. It would be kind of fun, especially to see if you get that like 50 pick faller or something. People just miss a guy in like the 6th round or something like that. People would have like lists and stuff. They'd have lists they'd be crossing off or on their computer to the side, like digital list. That would be a wild contest. JCM is fancy Keaton missile, but having him on the field tips off plays. That's true. That is the one thing they've said they've had him working on that a ton this summer. He is a second year player. Can he take a step in that department? A little bit tough to say. Not very talented in that. Like, that's not really his thing. He's kind of more just like pure runner, and the explosive plays are kind of like his big selling point in the running game. But allegedly, they've been having him work a lot on the pass catching. Good job getting through chat, Candyman. Hey, appreciate it, Cooler. Shout out to Candyman. I learned from the best. I learned from the best when it comes to getting through the chat. Uh, appreciate it. Shout out Candyman. I think Katron is better than JCM. Hell yeah, brother. I I don't know. I think he'll be better in the short yardage and better like I think Katron will just be better in short yardage and be better like not getting stuffed, right? He's not going to be boom bust. I think Katron is going to be like ultra consistent short yardage. I think Katron's basically Chris Rodriguez. Like maybe a little bit better pass catcher, maybe a little bit less explosive, but I think he's basically Chris Rodriguez. I mean, like a similar player, like I don't know, just like should be a really good short yardage thumper. Like I just really think he'll have that, and then maybe could even do a little bit more. He's decent in the receiving game. Like he can do it a little. He's a really smart player. Like I don't know, just watching him play, like he just is really good at using like his leverage and just like picking his lanes, kind of waiting to the last second. Like I don't know, it just feels so much like watching like Le'Veon Bell. It's just like stylistically, but he's just doesn't have the juice like that. But but he could be better than JCM, especially in certain roles. And maybe more valuable ones too, right? Like goal line. He'll at least keep the offense on time, no explosive, but less negatives. Exactly, exactly. Totally agree. K Turner shot way better chance at goal line too. Yeah, and I think that's really where JCM gets like could get squeezed, right? Like maybe he's the between the 20s runner and you get some big spikes, but he does get squeezed at the goal line, squeezed in the pass game, and that just really makes him have a hard time paying off that price. All right, I finally caught up. So we'll go through the teams quick and then we'll hop into another. Probably another one of these. I can check what won the poll, but probably another Frenchie. All right. All right. So I started out with a 3-5-7-3. We got Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. Strong QB room right there. Like I like all three, or I like all three. Got like close to an elite guy. Jordan Love, kind of that mid tier range, and then Rodgers, a light guy. Like in case I deal with any injuries, any bye weeks, kind of helps me get into that sprint. Hopefully, James Cook, Saquon, Rashad White, Zach Charbonnet, Braylon Allen. Feels like a decent running back room. Obviously, a really strong double anchor, so that makes me feel really like solid up top. Depends what you think about Rashad White, but I think taking that upside swing on him, that feels fine as an RB3. Maybe would have liked to get a 4 sooner than Charbonnet, but I think it's okay, finding a little bit on that Charbonnet, like hoping he comes back later in the year. But Rashad White should at least have a role right away, and hopefully just these two guys are carrying my RB1 and 2 spots. So it's an okay running back room, but maybe a little bit thin, especially with Charbonnet as my 4. Definitely could end up being, pretty thin with Charbo and Braylon Allen as my 4 and 5. And then at receiver, we got Neighbors, T. Higgins, Romo Dunze, Alec Pierce, Jaden Reed, Denzel Boston, Brandon Ayuk. And we got Kincaid, Isaiah Likely, and Greg Dulcich. I think tight end is fine. That's a solid tight end room. It might have a little bit of low floor in general, just because like Kincaid, it's hard to say with Likely, whole new team and everything. Hopefully he has a lot of usage in that offense, but this team could have a relatively low floor at tight end, but at least I got 3 all different bye weeks. Hopefully, the touchdowns kind of layer in with each other. And I think Likely and Kincaid have shown us that they can like really hit big spikes, win downfield. Even if they don't have like the safest floor. So that feels fine at tight end. Receiver feels okay. I think I took a lot of risks, to be honest, with Neighbors, Pierce, Brandon Ayuk, Denzel Boston, even as a rookie. I think, he goes really cheap though, as where he went in the draft and all that. But like Neighbors, Pierce, and Ayuk, a lot of risk there at receiver. If the injuries break right for me, then it works out pretty good probably. If they break bad for me, then then this team's pretty hurting at receiver. Yeah, little bit risky there with the 2 injured guys with Neighbors and Pierce. Ayuk's so cheap, it doesn't matter a ton, but yeah, I think overall it's an okay team. I don't love it. I did get some correlation in there, but I don't know. I think it's like a decent team overall, but there's just nothing great about it. No room feels particularly strong. Running back feels maybe a little soft. Receiver, like I said, has some risks. And then quarterback's like good, I guess. Tight end's kind of meh. So I don't know. All right, team. Don't love it, don't hate it. Cale Elliott, see Herbert, Goff, Ward, good QB room like that. Hampton, Kyron, Keaton Mitchell, Tyler Algier, Tajay Spears. So, kind of a strong double anchor, same kind of thing there. Maybe the third is a little bit weak with Keaton, because especially you're picking him and Hampton. Now that should kind of lock you down a solid starter like each week with him and Hampton, and then Kyron taking over that other spot. But I do think as your third, and especially with the other guy being your 14th pick, it can be a little risky. Maybe you're going for like the Dolphins type thing with Raheem and A-Chain type deal. But I do think it could really hurt like the floor of your running back room. Especially not getting another one kind of in between like where Kyron and Keaton are, or like in that Keaton range with him. So I think it's okay, but maybe a little bit thin at running back. Algier's fine where he goes. Tajay's fine where he goes. They both get on the field. Hopefully they do help with that floor. And in Tyler Algier could have a goal line role. Spears will have a receiving role. So maybe they give you some floor. And then, both have good contingent upside if someone gets hurt. And then Jefferson, Ladd, Christian Watson, Cardinal Tate, QJ, Calvin Ridley, Cooper Kupp. I feel like it's a pretty good receiver room overall. JJ up top, kind of your hero receiver. But Ladd, Christian Watson, Cardinal Tate, all strong guys, like down to 4. QJ is actually a pretty strong 5th too. So, and then you wait for a long time, take Ridley and Kupp to finish it out, just 2 vets. I think receiver's really solid, really strong overall there. Harold Fannin, Gunnar Helm, David Njoku, decent tight end room. You got Fannin, kind of more of a top tier guy. Then just kind of wait on the other 2. Did a huge stack with Herbert, obviously. I think overall, I would have just maybe liked a little bit more volume. Not even volume, but a little bit more capital at running back. If you could have fit that in, I probably would have liked it better, but I think it's okay overall. And if you do get that really strong, like double backfield with Hampton and Keaton, or even just one of them, if Hampton is like a smash RB and Kyron is just, normal Kyron being like top 10 RB or whatever he finishes every year, then you're totally good with those 2. And then, the contingent upside's fine. I just think it's a little bit riskier for like down weeks, relying that heavy on the Chargers backfield and just the team as a whole, right? Like, if you want both these guys to hit and you have Herbert and you have Ladd and you have QJ, and Njoku's super cheap, whatever. But like, you spent 4 of your top 100 picks on Chargers. So it's like, if they don't smash every single week of that sprint, it's going to be pretty hard. I think you might have overdone it a little bit with them. I think especially the Keaton, like, even like Ladd and QJ and Hampton, I think is maybe a little overkill since you're spending so much capital on all those. But I think that would be okay. But I don't love doubling up the running backs in addition to the huge, like, mega onslaught of them. But I think overall it's like it's like a decent team. It's just the running backs are going to be a little bit thin, like kind of just being so heavy on the Chargers and then Kyron. But it's decent team overall. Just that, like, it's really just that one critique. 3672, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa. I feel like that's totally solid. You could have stopped Allen and Mahomes if you wanted. Throw on 2 at the end. Why not? Right? Maybe cover some buys, especially your guys got early buys, so maybe he helps there. That feels, that's fine. I mean, really strong QB room actually, but the Tua pick's fine probably. He's super cheap. We'll see if he comes stacked too. Scatabo, Rico, Tyrone Tracy, Brian Robinson, Tank Bigsby, Katron Allen. It's a little bit light at running back. You did throw some more volume at it. I like the contingent guys you picked, Katron, Tank, B-Rob. Hopefully B-Rob and Tracy are both giving you some work. You actually did the same. You did the same shit. Cam Scatabo, Tyrone Tracy. You're spending a little bit less on Scatabo, but you don't have a giant stack. You just did the running backs. I mean, like, I'm more fine with that, I think, just because then in that sense, if Scatabo goes down, Tracy's giving you the work. Maybe they do split more than, us Scataboys think, and you're getting kind of usable weeks ping ponging out of them. Or just if Tracy, gets some like big plays certain weeks, right? Like hits a big play or something, he can definitely do that. I think running back a little bit thin, definitely. But, top 2, hopefully they carry you, or hopefully a Giants running back and Rico can fill your top 2 spots. Let me look at the rest of the team. Lamb, London, Brian Thomas Jr., Michael Pittman, Diggs, Tucker, Bryant. Pretty good receiver room like that overall. Really strong double anchor up top. Got BTJ, Michael Pittman, Diggs. Diggs is your 5th. Love it. I think receiver's solid. Warren, Pitts. Yeah, I mean, it's really strong, but I think maybe Pitts could have been a running back. A little hard to say, who was there, whatever, but I think maybe Pitts could have been a running back because it is a little bit soft, especially doubling up the Giants. But overall, it's like a decent team, and your other rooms are really strong. Like, receivers fine, I guess. Like, that's the double anchor is really strong. But tight end, I guess, is really going to be your strength, and hopefully you're flexing a tight end or like, a decent amount of weeks actually. I And then quarterback's obviously a big strength. You got Josh Allen, you got Mahomes. Yeah, I probably would have just tried to find a way to get a little bit earlier help at running back. I mean, 6 is fine, but I don't know. I mean, at least you do lock up the Giants. And if Rico is the main guy in Pitt, then you're probably okay. It's just a little bit thin for me. But I think overall decent build. Who else we got? We got Coolers and Batwheat, then we'll hop into another. Coolers goes T-Law, Fernando. It's a little bit thinner, but I mean, definitely thinner. I mean, one guy might not be starting week 1, but he'll probably be starting soon enough. You don't really care. Hopefully before week 7, right? I'd probably think he'll start before week 7. Mendoza, that is. But yeah, I mean that's okay. Definitely a little bit more risky though. Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, Josh Jacobs, Swift, Price, Pollard. Absolutely insane monster running back room. Uh, One of the strongest running back rooms I've probably ever seen. Yeah, pretty wild right there. 4 starters most likely, or not 4, 6 starters most likely. So pretty crazy strong running back room. Zay, Jacoby, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Higgins, Travis Hunter, Tank Dell, Chris Brazzle. I mean, it could get there, I guess. Like at least you got high target volume guys with your second and third guy, right? Higgins, second year player, maybe spikes, Tank Dell coming off the injury, maybe can kind of reclaim that form. Hunter, some spike weeks. I mean, I think it could get there. I think Myers and Dobbs, especially, are really good picks there. Just kind of getting that floor, hopefully getting steady, high reception numbers every week. Then just some upside swings a little bit after that. And if one of these guys kind of takes a step or breaks out, then maybe that is kind of difference, putting you in a good enough spot with a receiver where it's not too soft. Tight end, Brenton Strange, AJ Barner, Pat Fryermuth. I feel like the tight ends are solid, right? Waited pretty late, but 3 solid starters should be good. Just receivers going to be really thin. It's going to have a really low floor. Obviously, you're really relying on the top 3 guys should all have good roles, good reception totals. Hopefully, kind of hold down those spots most of the years. But if any of them are on bye or have a lower week, you're going to have to really hope some of these younger guys are kind of taking the step or, I guess just taking the step or Hunter's playing more snaps, I was going to say. But yeah, but the rest of the team is pretty strong. I mean, quarterback is probably fine with T-Law and Mendoza. It just feels a little bit, unsafe, but it's most likely fine. Running back insane, tight end fine too. Interesting build though. Definitely an interesting build. I will give you that much at least. Probably one of the strongest running back rooms I've ever seen. 2673, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. Good quarterback room. I think Daniels and Nix is totally strong enough. Hopefully as long as they're healthy, you're totally solid with them. So that's good. Travis Etienne, Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Chris Rodriguez, Nick Singleton, Mike Washington. I think running back's probably fine. I hate Chuba. I'll be honest, but I'm a little bit of a hater. I'm a Jonathan Brooks lover, but thinking about where you picked him and stuff, it's he's a decent RB2 on team. Travis Etienne as your RB1's fine. Aaron Jones a pretty solid 3, and then to get C-Rod right there. So it's you did kind of build out with those ambiguous backfields right there. I think running back's pretty solid overall, right? 2 starters in theory, and then 2 split backfield guys, maybe 3 split backfield guys to me, but hopefully 2 starters and then 2 split backfield guys. Jones should be getting the lion's share work in Minnesota, I think, and especially pass catching work, all that. But hopefully just getting equal carries and more pass catching kind of thing with Jones. C-Rod and Tootin a little bit hard to see how it'll shake out, but definitely should have a role, good upside in that offense. And then just 2 high upside contingent backs, maybe with Singleton and Mike Washington. JSN, Waddle, JMO, Chris Godwin, Rashid, Antonio Williams, Surratt. Pretty solid receiver room. I like that overall. 4th is Godwin, 3rd is JMO. Pretty strong. Double Seattle. Bowers, Sadiq, Hawkinson. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get why you go Hawkinson because Sadiq is a rookie, right? You don't know if he'll be on the field. So, and he had double bye week 13. So that makes sense there. But I think strong tight end room. You have tight end 1. So strong enough tight end room for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think overall this is a pretty solid, like, well-balanced build. Um, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any, like, huge weaknesses or anything. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Chubas, but that's kinda more of a player take thing. I think where you picked him, you got a little bit of a fall or 2, that's fine. Um, yeah, pretty solid overall. Alright, I think that's everyone. So, I was reviewing them for a minute. Um, what we'll do, so we'll probably hop into another, Frenchie, and then I'll catch up in the chat. I'm gonna check real quick just to make sure that, the Frenchie won. I'm sure it did, right? Okay, yeah, the Frenchie sprint won. Alright, close that. We'll close that too. Alright. Um, alright, yeah, so we'll hop into another Frenchie. I'll count it down though. We'll do that, and then I'll, kinda catch up as it's starting. Alright, so we're gonna hop into another Frenchie sprint in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, waiting on 4. So if any of you guys wanna hop in, um, I wanna see if I can. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I was just changing some of my settings. Alright. If JD5 is actually playing more under center this year, then JCM either needs to improve in the passing game or it's for shot season. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. He definitely does need to improve quite a bit to have that role. A really nice double anchor build plus James Cook, bro. Hey, appreciate it. Do you ever take LaQuint Allen? Oh, plus James Cook. I got you. I got you. Good one. Good one, Zero. I almost missed it. You almost slipped it right by me. But thank you for the compliment. You know, truer words never spoken. Double anchor plus James Cook. Do you ever take LaQuint Allen with C-Rod or Tootin teams if you are lacking RB? Not a bad fallback. You know, oh, what's up, Corey? And how things stop by, bro? I haven't clicked much LaQuint. I think it's a reasonable pick, especially. I think to me it's more reasonable if you have it stacked with T-Law since LaQuint does like profiles that pass catcher. I think it can be reasonable with Tootin or C-Rod. Probably even more with C-Rod because he's cheaper. So then spending like that second pick on the Jaguars doesn't feel quite as bad. Um, it's something I probably wouldn't do a ton right now. I'd probably be more open a little bit later in summer, but I think it's fine to do. It's just not something I've really done. Um, like I picked LaQuint some pre-draft or in like the 20 round stuff. Like Superflex, I probably actually Superflex, maybe I have done that. There's a chance. I picked so much Jonathan Taylor. Let's go with an Amon-Ra. Yeah, let's go with an Amon-Ra build. And Taylor, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Week 17 is a terrible matchup. 16 is decent, I guess, but since he can get passed on, we'll just switch it up, get the Sun God, get Amon-Ra. I mean, I think I just picked Taylor so much. I have 20%. We just go Amon-Ra there. James Cook at 6. That's interesting. Oh, and let's see who's in here. We got Rocco Jamaica at the 1, Zero Fucks at the 2, Legion at the 3, King of QC at the 6. I'm not sure if he's in here or not. Atweed in here again at the 9. Uh, and Kale Elliott at the 12. All right, nice. We got a nice little friends and family room. And if I didn't say your name and you're in here, let me know. But yeah, we got a little friends and family room. Love to see it. Love to see it. I'm sure that'll be a good time. Hopefully everyone has their week 15, 16, 17 all memorized so we can stay in our own lanes. Armin, what's the number one offense that the public sees a certain way? Oh, number one offense that the public sees a certain way, but you're on the opposite side. Can be bullish or bearish. Ooh. Number one offense. That's a good question. You think Steelers? I do like the Steelers a lot, but Yeah, I guess if we're saying draft price, that's actually a good shout by Zero. That's a good shout. Shout out Fanspeak, obviously. Who's a team? Let me think on that for a second. Because okay, like I like the Saints a lot, but I feel like everyone likes the Saints a lot. I mean, all their players go super high, so that's not really like a take. I guess the Titans. I've been pretty in on the Titans. I have a ton of Walker. We'll just diversify this draft. Let's get Derrick Henry. Why not? Actually, that schedule was rough. Pittsburgh, then Cleveland, then Cincy, which is great, but Pittsburgh and Cleveland. We'll go away from Derrick Henry for his sprint schedule in that one. We'll get my 20% Ken Walker up even higher. Why not? Um. Oh, but probably the Titans. I think if I had to pick one, probably the Titans. I make quite a bit of bets on them. I don't know how much Tate I have. I'm pretty low on the receivers, I guess, but like I still pick Cam Ward a good amount. I pick a lot of Helm. I'll probably start picking less Ridley, to be honest with you. I think I got a little bit over my skis on that one. But Helm I like a lot. I like Cam Ward a lot just because he's one of the last QBs. I've been picking a little bit less because he has, it feels like, moved up a decent amount. But yeah, maybe the Titans. I have a ton of Pollard, obviously, or as you can see, 27%. I would like more Wandale down where he goes, but I think his price will probably stay decently stable. So it's not like I'm super worried about it. Tate's the one, like right now, I'm actually getting more because I feel like he kind of fell back to the turn. So I'm getting a little bit more of him. I'm pretty in on the Titans to improve quite a bit with Dable there. Just the like I don't know, all the weapons they brought in, all the help they gave Cam Ward. I'm pretty open to that one. So I know I didn't have a ton of the receivers, but I'm pretty bought in on the running backs and stuff. And like to me, that's almost more of a sign of buying into the offense is buying into like Pollard. Um, but I guess they're probably the biggest one to me that like, all their players go relatively late, right? They have one of the later, like, starting running backs, obviously. Carnell Tate, he's a rookie, but he goes decently late as their wide receiver one. Not decently late, but he goes in kind of like the more mid tier range as a wide receiver one. And Pollard's one of the lower running back ones. So I think to say like Pollard could be comparable to like I don't know, like the guys on the like David Montgomery, Quinshon Judkins. I don't think it's a player, but like his role, his like projection for the season, if they improve, I think it could be similar. Quinshon obviously has like big upside with his breakaway runs, where he can like kind of disproportionately hit there in any given year and like really hit that way. And Quinshon also has like the goal line lock. So maybe his upside's a little bit higher, but like projected wise, it's like I think if the Titans take a little bit of a step to put Pollard similar to those guys in the fifth round isn't very crazy to me. Um but yeah. So I think I'm probably leaning Titans for that. To answer it in the most long-winded way I could. Uh, I mean, this is nice. This is a week 16 stack. I think neighbors in the third, like, I don't know. I'm picking them quite a bit. In sprint, I guess I'm probably even a little bit more open. Maybe not. Maybe like the same, I guess. But I don't know. I feel fine with neighbors there. The reports not been great lately. There's been a little bit of good reports. Seems like it's just hard to say. It's so early, but I think this late we'll take the risk. And I have said this before, but like I think with neighbors, I really want a little bit more like robust receiver room around him because I think at least I want like good consistent starters. Like I think an Amon-Ra Neighbors feels really good. Where Amon-Ra is just one of the most safe, consistent receivers. And that way, if I am missing Neighbors for the first couple weeks, at least I know I have like my hero wide receiver one, hopefully like covering me every single week. And I can just feel real safe with that, even if Neighbors does like miss the first 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever. Um, so yeah, I think that makes sense. Like I don't know. I like neighbors there a lot. They picked a lot of receivers before me that I liked. I already had a decent amount of Travis Etienne, so I don't know. I'd like to get a little bit more neighbors. First player doesn't go off until Warren DK range. Oh yeah, for Steelers, yeah, Steelers and Raiders. Yeah, Raiders are a decent shout. The only thing is like the one I picked the most is Genty, and he's a first rounder, obviously. Tucker's probably a good value. Yeah, but I mean, but but the Raiders also have two guys in the first two rounds. So it's like, it's a little tough. The Steelers, though, I definitely agree with. I think B Rob is undervalued. 500 yards, 8 touchdowns from Algier last year in that role. Mm, yeah, I think you're probably right. He's probably undervalued where he currently goes, but he's probably undervalued. But I think that his goal line role will be a little bit less than Algier probably. I don't think Brian Robinson is as good of a goal line back or short yardage back as Algier was. But he definitely could have a decent like goal line role. I do also think like the one thing is the Falcons are one of those teams that's a little bit of a mystery box. Like you look at their Vegas win total, it's sorry, let me make this pick and then I'll get back to that. We can just stack up more Detroit. I think this makes sense. Then I can get like at a big Detroit thing if I want later, hopefully. Because Burden obviously stacks week 17 and I had Neighbors week 16. And then I can get Minnesota piece, running back maybe, or Addison. There's actually a lot of Minnesota pieces I get. So maybe I can do like a big Detroit thing. And even if I don't get like Goff, obviously I prefer with like a Monra, but like even if I don't, I can just build it through a different stack or something. And then at least I have like pieces of those games if they do go off to like really supercharge my receivers or whatever position. Um oh yeah, but yeah, I think B Rob could be undervalued. He has one of the best contingent upsides. And like he's one of the last guys who will actually get some like somewhat meaningful work, right? Like B Rob could hit in a week that Bijan plays. Um, where I don't think you can say the same for a lot of the running backs that go after Brian Robinson. So I think just by that alone, he definitely is probably a little undervalued, and he should have really good contingent upside. I do think his goal line role could be a little bit less than Algier though. Raiders would qualify for a wide receiver position. Right. Hard to say with two Raiders off the board in the first in top 20. Yeah. Yeah. They're a weird one where they're like such a big gap, like positionally, where they're receivers. But it kind of does make sense with like having such a strong tight end, I guess. But yeah, like the Cardinals, who are probably worse than the Raiders, they're not like that at all. You have to pick like four Cardinals in the top 100. I mean, like three in the top 72 or whatever. Um, all right. Here I think it's just Quinshawn. Um, Schedule is fine. Actually has the Giants on there too, so that's nice. Get a little bit of a stack with Neighbors there. Uh, I mean that's a good price on Devontae, but I think I need more help at running back. We see three straight go before me. I really like having that strong second running back, and I don't know. I feel solid with Quinshawn as my RB2. Should be the workhorse on that team. Should be getting like 20 plus carries a week as long as he's healthy. He's back at camp already. He's practicing in full pretty much. So it's like, I don't think I'm super worried about his injury. I'm just going kind of the all like fade the injury narratives team right now, which might be good for Quinshawn, might be bad for Neighbors. But at least with Neighbors, we got some receivers around him. Quinshawn, though, I feel pretty secure with. He's already practicing, like looks good in practice, all that. We'll see as camp goes if anything bad happens, but he feels pretty good. Um, Dolphins could surprise people. Willis rushed for 15 TDs. People will crap their pants. It's true. They could surprise people. I do think, like, as a rusher, he definitely could get there. I just don't know if the passing game will be able to support it. Like, I don't know. I think Willis could be good, but it could be bad for everyone else on the team. Like a Tebow, like Tebow-esque. I wonder if Willis could be Tebow-esque. Like you ever look at Willis's stats in Tennessee? Like, man, I don't know, he did pretty good with Green Bay, but it's like Green Bay is also arguably the best team in the league at getting their receivers like wide open looks. They have a strong running game. It's like that's a really great system with, a lot of like pretty good receivers. I guess it depends what you think of the Green Bay guys, but there's probably about four Green Bay guys that are better than the best Dolphins guy, and like, other than Achan, obviously. But at receiver, like, I don't know. I think Willis could get there, but I just don't know if anyone else will. And then the passing upside, I just think is going to be so low. Like, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe we've seen quarterbacks take leaps. It was a couple of years ago that Willis was bad, and he did look pretty good in Green Bay. So Willis, Achane, Dulcich. Yeah, no, and that's a good stack, right? The three guys you feel the most secure with. And Dulcich is just kind of cheaper too, but like A-Chain obviously not losing his role to anyone. He's the workhorse on that team, kind of the engine. And then it's like you get Willis, you're probably getting like, yeah, I mean, you might be getting 30 rushing touchdowns with your quarterback and running back there. Um, but yeah, no, I like that stack. Just getting the guys their roles, they're solidified pretty much. Who do I pick here is the real question. We could just default to our guy, Jaden Daniels. He has a great playoff schedule: Atlanta, Minnesota, Jacksonville. Yeah, we'll just go with Jaden Daniels there. I don't mind Marv. You can see I have a decent amount of him. He has a really good schedule too, but I was already decently strong at receiver. I don't think I needed him there. Um, I think getting Jaden just a really strong QB1. Like I was saying, like I think the QB1s in theory can separate in a sprint format because they can give you multiple of those really strong weeks where it's not as likely later. But obviously people later can like layer up the quarterbacks to kind of beat you that way. Um, but Jaden Daniels could give you an unbeatable edge in like a sprint format or something if he drops like a real nuclear game. So I don't mind grabbing him there, even if it is unstacked. Uh, didn't love the receivers. A lot of them went on that turn, as you can see. So we grab Jaden. Coolers broke the sidekick. Yeah, that last draft with the six running backs. Yeah, no, that was a little bit wild, but I mean, it was interesting. Let's see. Oh, no, he was talking to Noah. But yeah, no, I mean, it was an interesting build. It was an interesting build. And he kind of did build it out. Like he had the right type of archetypes and stuff after. Atlanta go into that bucket, but I'm less concerned in the field, I think. Um Atlanta could go is underpriced. Yeah, probably. I could see that. I could see that. I mean, but Atlanta's expensive or maybe overpriced, you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the Atlanta guys are pretty fairly priced. Maybe Pitts is probably the best value, but like, or I mean, B Rob's a good value too. But like, Brian or Bijan being like top 2 pick obviously is fair. Drake London's price is pretty fair. Yeah, I mean, I think Atlanta's like closer to fair where they all go. Like their better values are kind of just like later guys who are values. Um, all right, what are we doing here? We could go Tucker Craft. He has a little bit of stack with Chicago. Yeah, we'll just go Tucker Craft there. Not a Chuba guy, not a Warren guy either, as you can see on both of them. I would be open to picking a little bit more Warren. Maybe there would have been an okay spot to do it, but yeah, I don't know. I think the elite tight end just get like a super balanced build. All my starting spots are filled now. Uh that feels decent. Like it always feels decent starting like this where like every starter spot is filled. Like you don't have to super worry. You can kind of go whatever way you want. Don't have to really worry about my QB or tight ends anymore. Like, like about like reaching up to like really grab someone, like getting desperate about it or something. So I don't know, building like this, it's like it feels pretty like nice, like it's easy to build out of because you can just kind of pick whatever falls to you. Branch is my biggest Atlanta exposure. Oh yeah, Branch is a good one too. Yeah, I forgot about him. He's like the biggest riser of them all. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm not as worried about the QB. I like Tua. I think Tua's a decent passer. I just think like I don't know. I guess what really happened then? He's not good in the cold. He's really bad in the cold. He's decent at throwing the deep ball, but like I don't know. He did kind of fall off in Miami. A lot of it, the O line was pretty bad though too. But Tua like passing on the short area and stuff, like maybe to a guy like Branch, it might actually be like his best skill set. Like a guy like Branch, just give him some screens and stuff, let him run. Um, yeah, I don't know. It is I don't know. Branch is a good one though. He's been getting a ton of hype too. Message me if you want to book action this year, Noah. I'll leave it at that. What did he say? Man, that team ain't getting there, LMAO. That team is cooked. Damn. All right, coolers wants to take action on it. Um, yeah, I mean, all right. What are we gonna pick here? Do I want to just take Dart and be done with that? I could. I set up the big. Yeah, I probably none of these guys like really made a ton of sense. Could have got T-Law, I guess, on stack, but I already had Jaden. Same bye week too. I think I just take Godwin. He had a really nice schedule. He had Atlanta and New Orleans his first 2 weeks. So that feels fine there. I wasn't totally sure. I wasn't totally sure which direction I wanted to go. I have a ton of Rico, like a third running back would have been fine. It's just I have so much. I wanted to go a little different. I have a lot of Godwin too, though. I got 16%, so not too different. But I really just don't like Monangai. Quorum's fine. Maybe I should have picked him, but I don't know. That was a little bit of a tough spot for me. I wasn't exactly sure which way to go. I do like Godwin a lot. I like Rico a lot too. Dart's always a good pick. I had Neighbors too. Maybe I just take Dart and be done there. I was thinking because I had such the big like Detroit thing. Maybe I just like wait on that. Um, or like I don't have the big Detroit thing, but I have a lot of like bringbacks and stuff with that game. So I was thinking maybe I just like wait for that, but maybe Dart stacked up would have been the move too. Because I did have some stacks with the Giants. Rocco sniped me, hell yeah. Um, yeah, with Gibbs. That's fine. Oh, and JMO. And so he just did it because he had the double. Fair enough, fair enough. I know Rocco used to be a sniper. I don't know. He might be a reform man now. But that's a fair pick with Gibbs and Goff. Um Cooler's leaving nuts on the table. Oh yeah, book action. That team book action, that team is dumb, bro. You 3 spots, so won't hit your lineup. The RB room. The RB room could use Allen Jr. Hell yeah, it could have. Yeah, the seventh RB Allen Jr. Maybe it could maybe that's what it needed to make it to the finals and win it all. Um Fuck. God damn it. Jackson Dart and Stafford go. I mean Stafford I don't care, but Jackson Dart goes 2 picks before me. Good value too. I'm fortunate. Uh I mean Goff's gone. I still do have a lot of stuff stacked with Minnesota though. Or with Detroit, I mean. Let's go Rashad White. We had him stacked up. We go Rashad White. We pull him up 10 picks, best pick on the board as we found out. But no, I mean, I don't know. Like I was saying, I don't have enough Rashad White. I had him stacked with Jaden Daniels. I was just talking about how he's going to be the pass catcher, right? So might as well get him stacked up with my Jaden. I think that makes total sense there. The QBs kind of got ripped before me. I'm fortunate, but I don't know. We just get Rashad White there, stacked up with our Jaden. Who doesn't love it? Yet again a double anchor, and we got Quinshawn. Bijan should be the 101 in sprint. Change my mind. Um, what's the Washington, Tampa Bay, New Orleans versus Minnesota, Giants, Chicago? Yeah, I mean probably right. Minnesota, Giants, Chicago. I mean, yeah. Bijan's schedule is probably better. Yeah. I mean that's fair. I don't get too heated about my Bijan versus Gibbs takes. Like to me, it's so close. It's like splitting hairs, but I can agree with that. His schedule is better for sure. And like if that makes him the 101, like I think that's fair. They're close enough. Better schedule, you know, totally fair. Tight end is just so deep this year. Otherwise, I don't think that would happening. Ramstein barely getting drafted too, as leverage off Sadiq. Just saying. Um, and oh, I don't know how I missed this. The complete fade of Mason Taylor by 98%. By 98% of the field seems foolish to me. He was pretty good for a rookie. Yeah, he was pretty good for a rookie, but I mean, they picked a first round tight end. That's the only. It's just so hard, yeah. But yeah, tight end. Oh, okay, I get it now. Tight end is just so deep. Otherwise, I don't think it would be happening. The Rams tight ends barely get drafted too. Right. One of the better offenses in the league, right? And like their tight ends sometimes go fully undrafted, or like one of the two gets drafted because it's just so like unclear. Um, I think I need a quarterback here probably. Oh, shit. Ah, did we get it? No, fuck. God damn it. I fucked that up bad, huh? Man, when I get on the streams, I feel like I'm not drafting to my full potential. Very obviously. But yeah, I should have picked Jordan Love there. Went Bo Nix. Forgot I had Tucker Craft. Wasn't really thinking about it. We'll watch the tape, get better next time. But that was a unfortunate mistake by me. First draft of the year, let's go. Oh, what's up, Lotsy24? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Is your oh okay, you're right here at the 11. All right, awesome. I'll check out your team at the end. I'll actually check real quick. What are you building right now? Yeah, okay. So you got, I mean, nice start. Genty, Kyron, Price, Chuba. And I'm like I said, I'm not a big Chuba guy, but that's a great price on Chuba. 83 overall. I really don't mind that pick for Chuba. Especially, Pollard, Ramondre, Warren off the board. I think that's totally reasonable. Um, yeah, pretty solid start. And I like the receivers too. Jefferson, Tat, DJ Moore, Alec Pierce, Jacoby at a good price. Pretty solid. Got Kyler with your Jefferson. Pretty solid so far. All right, maybe we get him, maybe we don't. We probably don't, but whatever. I mean, we got Bo Nix, so it's all good. If we get Jordan Love, I mean, I'll pick him, but I don't. All right, Jordan Love it is. His his schedule is like it's not great, honestly. I mean, Miami, Chicago is fine though. Week 17 is pretty terrible, but I guess that's actually kind of more the nice part about the sprint, right? And we have to bring back with Burden. But that's kind of the nice part about the sprint, I guess, where quarterback room's stupid. I don't even know if I should have picked him. That was a decent fall though. 15 picks behind ADP. Bo Nix, big mistake. But we got him even 8 picks behind ADP too. We're getting values on the QBs in here. Hell yeah. But yeah, no, Jordan Love, at least that's the nice thing in the sprint. Week 15 and 16 look real nice. So even if his 17's bad, at least the other two look nice. I love Terrence Ferguson and Mix Parkinson too. Yeah, I think I am a bigger Parkinson guy, but I don't have much in this. Oh, you know what? I bet in my super flex, I have a crazy amount of both. I guess I'm mostly done with tight end by then. I pick a ton of, you know who it is? I pick a ton of like Gunner and Fryermuth. I've been picking more Dulcich. I have 9% of him, but Gunner, I have 25%, which is a little bit too much. I'd like that to come down some. But Fryermuth, I have 12, Schultz, I have 9, Hawk, I have 10. Brenton Strange, I have 27%. So like I'm mostly done with tight end before the last round, but I do think either Rams tight end is a fair bet. Like I think that can be totally good. I have a ton in Superflex of both, I'm pretty sure, but probably more Parkinson. But yeah, I definitely think they're like a totally fine bet. Sweet, got into it with you. Okay, nice. Which is Thomas? Let me know which one. Oh, never mind. Is Thomas 2029? You were the one on the clock. All right. All right, yeah, I'll check out your team too. All right. What do we got here? I mean, we can get the cornerback. He game stack, so why not? Week 17 stack with my Washington. And we did have like Washington actually kind of stacked. This team is kind of odd. The Bo Nix pick was a real mistake on my part. I thought I didn't have any stacks. I forgot I had Kraft at tight end. I was just looking at the receivers. So, little bit of a disaster class on my part, but at least this is a friends and family draft mostly, so you guys are getting the EV off me. So, that's really the benefit of joining these drafts. I'm yapping. I'm not really thinking about the picks until it's like time where I'm on the clock. So at least hopefully that works out for you. Full house. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, it really is. We got like, I think everyone but like 3 people. But yeah, no, pretty crazy. Thanks for the review. I do think I could have gone 2 tight end because of Bowers, but with another week 13, I wanted to throw with Hawk. I think that's totally fair. Yeah. Yeah, no, grabbing Hawk there, he's cheap enough. Hopefully he's a decently consistent guy, but like I think grabbing the third that late is totally fine. It would just be if you spent like a lot of capital on a third, but Hawkinson's fine. That's cheap enough. If you're considering LaQuinn Allen, ask yourself, would you ever have stacked Stroud with Dare Ngumbuwale? Uh, ever said no. But hey, anything's possible. Anything's possible. This would be more like stacking them with Duke Johnson. You gotta pick a better pass catching running back. Theo Riddick in like 2012 or whatever. Maybe it's later than that. We'll double up on the Jaguars. Why not? We'll just get that double week 17 stack. They have Houston first, but then Dallas, Washington. So 2 out of the 3 are good games. And like I was saying, stacked up with my top QB, Jaden. So that feels good there. Strange is one of my most drafted players. So always pretty happy getting him. Getting a little bit more of the cornerback, Travis Hunter, too. If he gets the snaps, his upside when he's on the field is just like, unbeatable this late. It's just how many snaps is that going to be, right? What's up, dog? Hey, what's up, Omega? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Enchant Birds. Is this whole draft in here? Enchant Bird. Oh, damn, you're in here too? Or wait. Are you, or no, wait. Which one are you? Are you NSUP? Damn, that is crazy. What are the odds of that? Frenchie Friday. I guess people really like the sprint Frenchie, huh? Probably not. Yeah, probably not the whole draft, but we got like 9 or 10 out of 12, which is pretty crazy. Jaguars offense should be strong again. Texans always been a team built on defense. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And Liam Cohen just makes the difference, right? Like Liam Cohen offenses have been strong multiple years in a row. I think we've seen that. And yeah, and Texans, kind of similar thing with the coaching. But yeah, you look at their talent, like on defense, the Texans are stacked, right? Hopefully with the slight O-line improvements, the running game improvements. I mean, right? They're going from Nick Chubb and Woody to Montgomery and Woody. So I think they'll improve in the rushing game. But yeah, I mean the Texans are always going to be defense first. Jaguars offense should be strong with Cohen, all those weapons. So what is the Quint snap share with no injuries, and what is the snap share of both guys that had to get injured? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any LaQuinn Allen quite yet, but it's a little tough. He could get there. Like it's hard to see. It's hard to see him get there. I guess other than that, like he's definitely the best pass blocker. Maybe just receiving work, but like I don't know how much is that role there in that offense for him. It's a little tough for me to see. That's why I don't take him a ton right now. But if he can get a bigger role in that offense, right now it is kind of murky all around, and maybe that is the mistake of like most people is we'll take, good value Brian Robinson. Yeah, we'll take him there. But I think the thing is most people assume that he has no chance to like really take over anything. But like if you do feel like he can take over a decent role and he is probably the best, like definitely the best pass blocker, maybe the best receiver on the team, then it's reasonable to pick him here and there for sure. Obviously 11. Okay, I'm at the 4. All right. Got it. Oh yeah, I'm hella behind in the chat yet again. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm a half hour behind in the chat. Wow. I just realized that. That's my bad. All right. We're skipping the Quinn Allen talk. Bucks can light it up. Hell yeah, they can. Omega agree 100%. Bucks can light it up. But yeah, no, I'm pretty in on the Bucks improving this year for sure. I don't think both get hurt together, but one of the two, and no one is surprised. Oh, between Tootin and C-Rod. C-Rod's already hurt, so he definitely could. Tootin sucks, lies, and C-Rod is already hurt. Facts. So who knows? Tootin fucking sucks, man. That's a fact. It's so funny that like you typed this half an hour ago, and when you said toot and sex, I said lies. You already knew I was gonna say that's a lie. Um, no, I mean, hey, I don't know if it's a fact. I don't know if it's a fact. Rashad White. I don't know, from the Rashad White defender. This is crazy. Giddens is the only other RB last round you can make a case for, I suppose. Yeah, I pick a little bit of Giddens. See, I think he's a little bit more cleaner because like if Taylor goes down, he has the size. He like should be able to take over kind of that like RB1 role. There's not much competition in Indy. Like who do the Colts even got at running? Oh yeah, they picked that McGowan guy, but like I'd probably just take Giddens over him. I think Giddens is probably safer. Or he's definitely safer than McGowan, but I think Giddens is probably fine to pick. What do I need? I need a running back the most. These running backs are terrible. Son of a bitch. Could have got my boy Katron double up the I mean we already have Rashad, so I don't know if we want Katron in this build, but could have doubled up my commies. What running backs am I really picking? I'm really picking some Ray Davis for real. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm way behind the chat. I forgot about that. Let's try to catch up before we finish the draft. Taylor doesn't get hurt though. He gets hurt sometimes. He's been hurt a couple of years. Some of his injuries were fake, but some of them were real. But yeah, he was healthy last year though. Giddens is Ray Davis though. All right, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like Giddens last year, like before the draft, but yeah, he's kind of like not one dimensional, but he's like a one cut and go guy. Like I don't know, he's not like super special, but he's pretty big and he's a decent runner, decent pass catcher, not the greatest pass catcher for Giddens I'm talking about. But like, he can probably like get most of the work as long as or if JT went down. Blue Connor Hill, Gordon Vile, Blue is rising. Vidal is 19th round right now. No thanks on the others. Oh, Blue, Connor Hill, Gordon Vidal. I picked some Ollie, not really doing it now. A little bit wanting to see how it shakes out between him and Jalen Wright. Vidal, I think he's fine, but I don't pick him a ton. Same thing with Hill. Hill and Vidal, I feel the same on. Like Vidal is probably the guy who gets more work if Hampton goes down, but realistically, he's probably not doing much as long as Hampton's healthy. Like much of anything, but as a free pick, it's a decent upside. Son of a bitch, take my Ray Davis from me. That's fine though. I don't care. All right, we can get Tank Dell game stack. Why not? Who says no? Jacksonville, Philly, Green Bay. Jacksonville's it's kind of a tougher matchup schedule, I guess, but he did stack up the week 17. Tank Dell allegedly at camp looking good right now, off his gruesome leg injury. So we'll grab a little bit of him as a stacked piece. I think I'm probably done at tight end with these two. My running back room is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of mid. This is like the first running back room I built too. I did this twice now. I don't love it. I don't know why I did this twice. I was not locked in. Today was not a locked in day for me, to be honest, in these drafts or in the chat. I'm even not locked in right now. All right. Oh yeah. So but yeah, Vidal and Hill, I don't pick them a ton, but I think they're reasonable. Connor, I feel like Connor, it's like people are just hoping he gets cut. I don't know, like maybe he does, I guess, but I'm not really picking a ton. I guess just because he'll rise so much if he does get cut and go to a different team is the thing, but I'm not picking a ton. Maybe that is the time to make the bet while he's free, but more in like 20 rounds, like when Superflex was open, I was picking a little bit of Connor. And then Blue seems like a little bit of a riser. It's just funny because Blue's the guy I would tout before. And it does seem like people are hyping up Blue a little bit though. His camp reports have been decent. So I don't know. I'm more open to Blue. Superflex, we were picking a lot of Blue, but I am kind of open. Blue's rising by dollars 19. No thanks on the others. Oh, right. If DJ turns back into a pumpkin, Colts would be bad. Colts could be bad. Yeah, but he's not going to turn back into a pumpkin. That's like Shane Steichen's going to insulate him. Shane Steichen needs like any bum QB who can like just throw to a first read. I don't know. At least like and not any bum, but like I don't know, even like you look at let's go Wicks. Wicks is the GOAT. We'll just pick Dontavian Wicks, easy. Um, when you don't want to think about it in the 17th, you just grab you some Dontavian Wicks. Uh, but what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Oh, if DJ, I don't think he will in the Shane Steichen offense. I think Shane Steichen just will make it real easy for him, like he always does. Like, he does a lot of RPO, a lot of play action. I think it's a little bit concerning what Daniel Jones' mobility looks like the first couple weeks or like month of the season, maybe even a little longer. Um, but I think Shane Steichen's offense will protect him a lot. And I think that's why he thrived there in the first place. I don't think Daniel Jones had some like big leap as a player from when he was like trash on the Giants. I think it's just a system that works way better for his skill set and just helps out the quarterback a lot more. And it's crazy because even in that system, Anthony Richardson couldn't work, but DJ Giddens or Daniel Jones? He was probably talking about Giddens. DK 19, 17th for underdog. Oh yeah, because 20 rounds. Connor gets traded or plays some. Yeah, as long as he gets traded. I think if he's on the Cardinals, I don't get why you would pick him. Behind Jeremiah Love and Algier, I don't really see the case. It needs to be cut or traded. But if he does, then yeah, he'll probably be a huge riser right away, where some of the other guys won't really have that. So yeah, I can see why you're picking him. I see the case. I just wouldn't get like super crazy on it, but given that he's free, especially if you're in a 20 rounder, but even an 18 rounder here and there, it's fine. If DJ Giddens turns in a pumpkin, would anyone notice? 3 Cardinals get drafted before a first Steeler goes off the board. Enough said. That's facts. Yeah, it's crazy. Market speaking out both sides of their mouth. Yeah, no, I mean the Cardinals are just a way better offense than the Steelers. If you go by the market. Cards is a good, can be awful this year offense, actually. Oh, yeah. I guess that would actually be a good one too. I didn't even think about that, but like I'm fading the shit out of the Cardinals, to be honest. Marshawn Lloyd, he's healthy allegedly. Josh Jacobs has been hurt before. We did have some stacks. We have him stacked up with Love. I think Marshawn Lloyd, yeah. I mean, he's healthy right now. It's longer than he's ever been healthy before. I know you see that 0% Jaden Blue if you saw it. In Superflex, I promise I have like 20%. So if you're a Jaden Blue bull, enjoy it in the 20 round formats. I'm picking them, but we'll probably start mixing them in even in the 18 round formats now. But Marshawn Lloyd finally healthy for the first time in his life. We'll see how long that holds up, but if he's healthy on a practice field, they can scam me into picking him every year without fail. Hill is the pass pro specialist and has been solid for a free pick, healthy Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma. I've seen Prime Ollie Gordon several times in person. Dude is a freak if he can ever find it again. Yeah, I'm pretty into, like, I actually don't mind Ollie. He's probably the one of those guys I have the most of. At 5%, which isn't crazy, but for an almost undrafted guy, I guess that's a decent chunk, right? He doesn't even have an ADP and I have 5%. So yeah, that's definitely a decent chunk. Yeah, no, I definitely think like Ollie too. He could have like somewhat of a goal line role on that team, especially if they view him as like the clear RB2 over Jalen Warren, or not Jalen Warren, Jalen Wright. If they view him as a clear RB2 over him, then like I definitely think he could get some goal line work and give you some usable weeks. And then, obviously A-Chain, undersized running back, probably going to be getting a lot of work. Like, there's a chance either they just kind of suck later in the year and maybe they use more Ollie, or that A-Chain gets injured. But even if not, maybe Ollie gets some goal line work. I still want to see if Neighbors slides to the 4th this month before training camp. I can still take him in the 3rd a month from now. All right, fair enough. Same with Josh Allen, etc. All right, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, if you think those guys are still sliding down and you're going to get more of a value now, then for sure. And Neighbors definitely is one of those. I don't know. Like, quarterbacks have been moving down, so maybe Josh Allen will be more common there. But Neighbors is definitely one of those that this could still be like a decently high price compared to where he goes in a month. Disband Brotherhood stopping with that. Hey, what's up, Disband? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Judkins definitely got some black market peptides, LOL. Yeah, no, for real. He's right back there. He looked more back than Scatterbo, and his injury was like 9 weeks later. Yeah, he got hurt like week 14 or 15 or something, but whatever. Like, yeah, late in the year, November. And yeah, already back. Crazy. The Browns could be the offense. First pick is Judkins in the 5th. Throw on Phantom, whichever wide receiver ones. The Browns will assuredly pay off their price. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, their guys are. Yeah, they're pretty reasonable. Well, wait. Are you saying they're reasonable or that they're overpriced with this? Because I think Fannin is like fair, but I don't know if he'll really pay off like tight end 6 or 7. Maybe. I mean, I guess he could, but I don't know. And like Judkins will probably pay off his price. I just don't know how much he'll beat it, but like he'll probably pay it off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which way you're leaning there actually, because I feel like they're kind of a split where I like some guys, but I don't like others. Mainly, I just don't like Fannin or the quarterbacks. I like the receivers, the young receivers, and Judkins. 30 TDs sounds like a lofty team total TDs for Miami. We were being bullish. There. Okay, let us have the bull case. Sniped. Oh damn. Browns and Titans are probably my own answer to the question I asked Hartman, where I think both can have multiple players beat their ADP. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, because if you're saying some players can beat their ADP and it's like multiple in the offense, I think Browns is pretty fair. Fannin, I guess, is a fair price now. He's getting there at least. I'm a little more sketched on him just with the rookies, but I do like picking both rookie receivers and Judkins. And I think that makes sense. And like either quarterback, if you just pick the right starter and they start most of the year, then they hit too, kind of just by proxy, right? By being like the last QB you pick. So no, the Brown shout is actually pretty fair. I'm just a little less in on Fannin, but the Brown shout is fair. So, bro, hey, what's up, Gooner Vibes Only? Great name. Thanks for subbing, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Trout Stalker, what is the optimal game theory draft structure for this format? Ooh, what is the optimal game theory draft structure for this format? I think structurally, it is relatively similar to like normal tournament formats like BBM, like any of those. I think structure is similar where you most likely want like either 2 strong QBs or 3 QBs total. And and you probably just want more of a balanced build in general, right? Like that's just kind of structurally. I guess the big thing to me is really finding those teams where you feel like you either really like or dislike the combo of their 3-game like week 15, 16, 17 matchup. Because this is a sprint, right? So you have your first round advancement, 2 out of 12. So you kind of want like your normal, just whatever you would normally build to advance through that, right? And that's just like same for every draft almost, right? Most of them are 2 out of 12. But then with that 37-56 final, it's like that is week 15, 16, and 17 all added together, right? So I think just really picking out which teams would be your favorite and least favorite like stacks of those weeks, and then trying to build out game stacks within those maybe, or just like building out stacks of your favorite teams. Like if you love like San Francisco, and I'm just using the top couple as an example. I'm not even looking at the matchups, but like if you loved like San Francisco, Arizona, Green Bay, like if you love all their matchups, then you might want to try to build teams where like you can build a Green Bay stack with like all their bringbacks, right? Like maybe a Chicago piece, a Houston piece, like theirs isn't good, but like let's say Arizona, they play the Jets, New Orleans, LV, right? All could be pretty soft defenses. Maybe you want to target that offense and then target like a New Orleans player with them, a Vegas player with them, a Jets player with them. I think that is the main idea, would just be to really like focus on what are the 3-game stacks that you like and dislike. You could also look at ways to try to like for example, what I kind of had set up in this, but like Jared Goff went, is like you can get like Minnesota, Giants, Chicago with Detroit, or maybe Chicago is actually a better. But like there's ways you can stack out, I guess, where you get like multiple teams that play the same opponents. I'm blanking a little bit right now. Like for example, I guess like Seattle and SF, right? They both play Philly. So like that if you had Philly pieces, or like like if you had Philly pieces, you have access to both those two games. So just kind of building around like the stacks and stuff, I guess, of the games. That's the main game theory of this, really, is just like picking those week 17 matchups and then maybe just trying to like hone in on like each build. Like, if I have Jaden Daniels, I want like an Atlanta piece, a Minnesota piece, a Jacksonville piece, right? And I think I got an Atlanta piece. I got a Jacksonville piece. I wasn't able to get a Minnesota piece at a decent price, but like I did try to build out those stacks. Like I have a week 15 with my Jaden. I have a week 17 with my Green Bay, week 17 with my Washington, week 16 with my Green Bay. And and like I was saying too, I could have been more locked in on this draft. I definitely could have built a little bit better. This definitely isn't my best work by any means. I didn't even have Bo Nix stacked. I just kind of panic picked them. Um, but in general, I think building out those game stacks and just finding like schedules that you like, not being too married to it, right? But like finding schedules you like and getting game stacks, I think is generally like the main strategy point. Um, all right. Pull up Pickens with Jefferson since it's time box. Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible. My bearish one is that it's probably unpopular is I think that sorry. My bearish one that is probably unpopular is I think at least a few of the Saints are overpriced. Yeah. I mean, low key, it's probably Travis Achan. Like, I don't know. I kind of get the feeling he's low key overpriced because like they don't really throw passes too much to running backs in Kellen Moore systems, but should be high pace. He might be fine, but I don't know. That's an interesting one to me. I'm pretty in on the Saints, but I do think either A-Chain or one receiver could disappoint. I think there's enough volume though to probably pay off most of their prices. But that is interesting, especially if you don't believe a ton in Shuck too. I think that could be a really good case to kind of be more out on him. Mine is Bears Coolers, 6 Bears in the first 95 picks. That's fair. That's fair. I think there's definitely going to be some Bears that disappoint. As expensive as they go, I think you're going to have some that you're pretty happy with and some that disappoint. And the only downside is like any given week, it can probably be any of them. So it's going to be like, maybe the one that disappoints is the one that spikes the week you need them type thing. Maybe not. Maybe it's just one guy all year. But yeah. Yeah. No, I think at least some of those will disappoint for sure. Draft Warren everywhere. Hopefully you meant Tyler Warren. And then I agree. What's up, Gregory Pet? Thanks for stopping by, bro. I appreciate it. But hopefully Tyler Warren. I'm into Tyler Warren. Love it. Or 5 5 Bears. Yeah. Yeah, Bears for sure too. Yeah. Yeah, at least some of them have to disappoint. I don't think Caleb's going to make that insane step like Josh Allen or whatever where like I don't know, he just all of a sudden becomes way more accurate. Like he'll probably improve accuracy, but like I don't know if he's all of a sudden just going to be throwing for like 4,800 yards or something crazy. I think it'll be somewhat similar last year, maybe a little bit better. But the price there more expensive, right? Wait, Shuck is Timu Drake May? Maybe. I mean, Drake May is kind of the GOAT, so I don't know, maybe. Shuck isn't even Timu Drew Lock. No, now you're going too far. We went too far both ways. Fade him. I wouldn't fade if he's Timu Drake May. I'm picking him even more. Saints could do well. We're just pricing them at ceilings already off a small sample size. All right, yeah, I can kind of see that. I think the receivers could get there, but I can kind of see that, especially Olave. Just coming off like his hottest touchdown year, all that. I kind of see that how like you can say like they're close to ceiling already. Yeah, I can kind of see the take, which is always a little concerning. Yeah, Drew Lock has never even had a game as good as Shuck. Didn't Drew Lock have one like fucking nasty game like a year or two ago? I feel like Drew Lock had a crazy game. Okay, yeah. Drew Lock week 17, 2024. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute there. And yeah, my bad. I don't really talk trash. I just dare people to have an opinion worth more than $0. I don't know what that one was. My bad. I don't talk trash. Damn it. See, I wish I wasn't so far behind in the chat. This is unfortunate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Drew Lock. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're skipping Drew Lock. Sorry, some of these combos are getting skipped 0, but LaQuinn Allen and Drew Lock, they're not priority when I'm this far behind. But I'm old enough to remember fading small sample sizes depending on cost. Yeah, no, that's true. Rocco is an ethical hooper now. Yeah, no, he's changed his ways. Shuck cost isn't that high, so he's worth stacking up though. That's true. Yeah, Shuck, I like his price overall, but I get it. I get it how there is downside, right? I mean, what do you throw, like 10 touchdowns in his NFL career? I mean, I'm all hyped on this guy, right? Like I'm a big Shuck head, but he has 10 touchdowns in his life in the NFL. So, there's definitely risk. There's definitely risk. We have not seen it all from Tyler Shuck. Uh oh wait, this is my favorite team through 9 rounds all year. All right, all right. He probably wrote that when we were through 9. Small sample size, wasn't here to snap scat. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. I'll see it. But I'd rather just pay up 15 picks and take Dart, pay up 22 and get Herbert, Who Ames, Scat, and Chig, or mine every draft 2026. Yeah, no, for real. Who Ames to be picking Scat and Chig a lot these days. I feel sometimes like if he's on fan speak or something, I feel like he might be pulling up Scattaboo a little bit extra just to get a rise out of one of the hosts. But maybe that's a crazy conspiracy. I'd rather just pay up and take. I don't know which QB you're talking about over. Caleb. Oh, Caleb. Yeah. Fair enough. Whatever. I mean, we don't got time for that right now. I like Dart too a lot more if neighbors had clarity. That's true too. Dart's only falling because of the neighbor stuff. I was saying that as you. Bijan gets the dome. Yeah, that's true. That's beneficial always. I mean, small hands golf outdoors in Chicago, but we're talking about Gibbs versus Bijan, right? I mean, Gibbs, that's great. Gibbs about to get 35 carries. Yikes. Who Ames? I loaded up early. Now I'm hardly getting scat and it feels fine with Jacobs going in the 4th. That is true. Jacobs in the 4th is nice. It is unpatched in 2026 best ball at the moment. They might be patching it, but right now you can still get Jacobs in the 4th. It's a great time to draft. Cold weather golf is scary. Yeah, he definitely takes a big dip in cold weather. I mean, I'd be more worried about it, I guess, for like JMO the most, but that's true. In cold weather, just overall their offense takes a little bit of a dip. And outside of a dome in general too. We don't even draft a Panthers tight end either. That's true. I mean, you're more than welcome to draft what's his nuts? What's his Jatavian. Yeah. Or there's a hyphen in his name. Jatavian. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. He got shut down with the neck injury, right? So, looking healthy at OTAs, I guess. But it's tough to pick a Panthers tight end, I mean, Dave Canales doesn't really use the tight ends a ton, I don't feel like either. But that's a miscalculation too, IMO. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but like what good did it do you to get the Panthers tight end like any previous years, right? Because they used that rotation. They had like Tommy Tremble in there and like just like rando guys. I don't know. I'm forced error. Stroud Snipe was wild. Love the cornerback. Hell yeah, cornerback's great. Already 13% filled. Damn. Yeah, no, I mean, this will probably fill by like Monday or something. Yeah, I'm at 4. Watch out once the NFL converts, stopping 13%. Yeah, no, that's true. It's a cyclical. Happy Sunday, Hartman. Happy Sunday, Coolers. Thanks for stopping by yet again, bro. Yeah, no. I mean, hey, we're getting there. I think. Yeah. New Taj Brooks is the best high leverage handcuff. If CB goes down, 31 or Chase Brown, 31-year-old Pirine is not taking the starting job. I kind of agree. Pirine's probably more of a change of pace guy. I don't know if we like can totally have faith in Taj Brooks taking it over because it's not like we've seen a ton from him. But he'd probably at least have a chance at like getting on the field and maybe taking over, of course. Taj Brooks a dog. I agree. I mean, I was pretty in last year, but I mean, he was a dog. He was a dog, but he needs to get on the field. It's Malik Davis. It's Jaden Blue season around here, Paul. But no, I mean, I don't have any Jaden Blue either. So it could be Malik Davis. That's why I don't have any Jaden Blue yet. But I haven't picked too much either. Hallie Line, hey Armin. Hey, what's up, Hallie Line? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. What do you think of the 11 hole not common draft for me? I'm sorry, Loud. So you're gonna have to. We're getting through this chat one way or another. I'm almost there though. We're getting there. See your comment Sunday. Well, took a 4th end, didn't mean to. Gives my team a grade. I figured it. All right, I'll give you a grade, like an A, B, C grade. It's just funny because it's taking how long for me to get through this. That was an auto pick because the cat ran into the window. Oh, it's the fourth tight end. All right, 7 QBs. Got to get Pickett, the golden ticket. Oh, what's up, bro? Hard dicks and airplanes. What's up, Rock Hard Castle? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. I'll be on my deathbed telling my grandkids about Rock's 2025 Pickett take. I remember that for like a month, maybe more. Like every chat I would see at some point, there would be like, "Hey, what do you think about Kenny Pickett? Could he be the key to this year?" Hella funny. 2026 Pickett take is Young gets benched and Pickett takes Carolina to the playoffs. Okay, so if you don't take Pickett around 18, you're really just hurting your team. Facts. Dalton is Walsh. Pickett is Young and spry. Facts. Hurts is washed too, though. Also facts. Was he ever good though? Don't you have to be good to be washed? Y'all think he catches up by Monday? Maybe. This is a perfect tournament for Kenny Pickett. Facts. Every tournament is. Bit of advice to fade no one. I keep making the mistake of replying to things Hartman says, and they sees them the next day. LMAO. Yeah, I know. I did really bad tonight with the chat, but so there's a lot of you guys in here chatting. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I did so poorly keeping up with it, but we'll do a little bit better. We'll do a little bit better at it next time. I was telling Zero to fade him, LOL. That's fair. Let me reply. Keep trying going. Hey, coolers, how's it going? Who could ever get a rise out of Meg? Yeah, just that one guy. Come on, baby, turn the lights off. That's the only guy. That's the only guy. He had her going. I think that's who it was. Yeah, for sure, Steve the Master. Yeah, no, actually, that's true. But see, usually, I guess Steve gets a rise out of Meg, but like usually like Meg's the one winning those exchanges. Steve's like taking the brunt of any punishment on most of the exchanges. But it's a great dynamic always. Sibling showdown is always one of the best shows. I'm a Mitchell Evans drafter. I don't touch Sanders. All right, Sanders. All right, fair enough. Every time you say no to fourth QB Rodgers, I see your blood boiling. My poor roast. Oh yeah. Hey, well we made it. We made it. All right. Now to look at these teams. There's a lot of them. Yeah, I mean I'll look at all of them. All right. So I believe we got 1, 2, 3 are for sure watching. King of QC was in here. Is Thomas, Batwheat, Lautsy, and Kale Elliott. So the only people I don't think are in here are Jay Dennis, Noah Sum, and Ensup. So if you guys are in here, let me know. Ensup might have been, someone said they were in here earlier. That wasn't the same name, but yeah, so Ensup, Summers, or JD Dennis, let me know if you're in here. All right, let's we'll start out with Rocco. We'll see what Rocco is cooking. We'll just start with the 1. 3573, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Carson Beck. Carson Beck's a little bit wild, my boy, but Herbert, Goff, plenty strong. You could have stopped at 2 if you wanted, but throw on Beck. You probably had some Arizona stuff. Yeah, you had McBride and Love. All right, fair enough. Get some late season, maybe Beck starting. Jameer Gibbs, Jeremiah Love, Dave Montgomery, Sean Tucker, Katron Allen. Yeah, that's fine. 3 strong, solid starters, right? Sean Tucker, maybe some upside weekly, but more contingent, but maybe some goal line upside there too. Katron, probably the best pick on the board, rookie sensation. No, but maybe some upside in that Washington backfield. It's all a little bit murky. So a solid running back room, really strong top 3. JMO, QJ, Michael Wilson, Casey Conception, Omar Cooper, Antonio Williams, Ted Hurst. Probably a little bit thin at receiver. You're really relying on QJ and Michael Wilson as like your 2 and 3, 2 rookies as your 5, as your like 4 and 5. So like you might have some really low floor weeks. Even JMO as your 1, right? He had, I think, 2 full zeros last year. And like just in general, he's a kind of lower floor player, but higher spike. So I think you're going to have a really hard time with some floor in this lineup, especially given like the wide receivers that you did pick, like JMO and QJ, and then a lot of rookies. It might be really inconsistent, like really low floor, but you could get there if the spikes layer right. Trey McBride, Jake Ferguson, Chig. This is probably too much at tight end, to be honest. I would probably put less at tight end, more at receiver. Like, I think either pass on Chig or Ferguson with Trey McBride. You spent pick 25 on Trey McBride. He better be worth it. I think maybe you make the argument I'm getting more flex points, but I think your receiver lineup isn't giving you like solid enough points week to week. I think it can, but its floor is going to be too low some weeks. Overall, I think it's an okay build. It's viable, but receiver floor is probably going to really hurt. Like you really need the running backs and then the tight ends to smash probably. Um, all right, but overall, it's like a fine team. You just need some things to go right, and you have some first round rookies. Maybe they do end up being more consistent guys. But 0 3573 Caleb, Sam Darnold, Gino, it's fine enough. I mean, yeah, because Caleb and Darnold would be fine. Throw on Gino on there. Yeah, no, it's fine at QB. And, Caleb's a decently strong one. Bijan, Brees, Monanguide, Sampson, Mike Washington. It feels a little bit lighter for me with Brees and Bijan, obviously two crazy, like, double anchor workhorses. But, like, I just hate Monanguide, but you did have the Chicago thing going. And maybe I am being a little bit of a hater. He did have a good year last year. He had like 800 yards or something, right? So it's maybe okay, but I feel like I just wish someone with like a more guaranteed role was your RB3, I guess. I don't feel secure with Monanguy's role, but I don't know. I think it's okay, a little bit thin. Nico, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Ayuk. Pretty good receiver room, like that overall. Yeah, like I really like Pittman a lot. I like Garrett and Nico. Marv's fine where he goes. Jaden Higgins fine where he goes. Yeah, like I like all these guys. Loveland, Kelsey, Arroyo. Kind of interesting with the Arroyo low owned, get him. That's kind of interesting to me. But Kelsey, Loveland really strong. Get Arroyo for a low owned dart. I think it's pretty solid overall. Like I said, RB maybe a little bit light, but I think if you're treating Monaguy like, given the draft capital where you took him, it's probably fine at RB. Like draft capital wise. I'm just not a huge Monaguy guy. All right, let's look at Paul. And I think team overall decently solid though. Just that like third RB spot. Paul, Legion, 2673. Lamar, Joe Burrow, strong double, like strong 2 QB, like that kind of bully QB, whatever you want to call it. DeAndre Swift, Ramondre Stevenson, Rico Dowdle, J.K. Dobbins, Jordan Mason, Emmett Johnson. I think that's totally solid at running back. I mean, you have like basically, I guess like one clear like starter, like clear like one, and then you have like a lot of those split backfields just taking shots on a ton of them. But I think every single one of those guys is going to be, getting decent work on the field, splitting like significant time every week, if not being the lead guy every week. So between all four of those guys, I mean, I think you'll have a really solid running back room just weekly. As long as they're all healthy and stuff. But it even has like big upside too, because they're all kind of in split backfields where they can really increase the role should something happen with the other guy, or maybe they just take over more. But it gives you more floor for that early season if they are splitting more or something too. So really like the running back room, and Emmett just kind of laid upside. Jamar Chase, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, Jalen Coker, Denzel Boston, Trey Harris, Pat Bryant. Solid receiver room, really strong, like top three with Zay, Pickens, Jamar Chase. And then Coker, Boston, Trey Harris, Pat Bryant. I feel like that's solid at receiver. Maybe could have argued like a little bit better fourth, but I don't. Yeah, no, I mean, like maybe over like Jordan Mason, you could have argued like a fourth receiver, but I think your top three are so strong. Probably not. It probably does make sense to go Mason. So, yeah, no, I mean, I think it's pretty solid overall. And then tight ends were Andrews, Gadsden, Jasicki. Little on the lighter side. Got Jasicki stacked. Got Andrews up top, which is a strong one. Gadsden kind of depends how you feel, but I think that's decent at tight end. And yeah, receivers probably actually pretty good because your top three are so strong. You probably were okay to wait that long. Yeah, I think really solid team. Legion. That's yeah, I like a lot overall. I really like getting a ton of those contingent backfields. That feels really good. Oh, you're okay, right? You're at 4. Don't review Jay Dennis. He striped my style. Fuck man. Okay, you're at 4. All right, ends up. Jalen Hurts. So you went 3-6-7-2. Jalen Hurts, Matt Stafford, Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik's interesting. I mean, did you have Jets pieces? Is that what it was? You had AD Mitchell. She kind of set it up at the end. That's intriguing to me. Let me know. Are you just like a big Cade Klubnik guy? Like, what led to the Cade Klubnik? Because was it just like you picked AD, you wanted like a piece with AD, or let me know on that because I don't see him picked too often, and I think it's fine to throw a dart on him because Gino could get benched later in the year. Let's be real, but like it's just interesting to me because Stafford and Hurts is like decently strong too. Like you were probably okay with two if you really wanted to be, but I'm just curious. Like it's fine to do. I was just curious because I don't see it too often. RB had Bucky, Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, Jonah Coleman, Tank Bigsby, George Halani. That's probably fine. Bucky and Pollard, it's a decent top two. Blake Corum is a fine third. He splits a decent amount of time, but it's, also has a ton of contingent upside. I maybe would have liked to see a better fourth than like Jonah Coleman, but I think it's okay overall. You did get six. You should have two solid starters up top. Actually, yeah, it's probably fine overall. Um, it's probably fine. It's just pretty reliant on Bucky and Tony Pollard to like hold their roles for the early part of the year, or like have those roles be all good to go for the early part of the year. And then at receiver, you went Puka, Devonta, Jalen Waddle, Wan'Dale Robinson, Stephon Diggs, Jalen McMillan, A.D. Mitchell. Pretty good receiver room like that overall. Really like Diggs at 5. Wan'Dale at 4 is even good. Waddle as your third, so your top 3 are really strong. Like that overall. Bowers, AJ Barner. Anyone with Bowers pretty much is good as long as they're a starter. AJ Barner is a starter. So yeah, I think that's good right there too. Yeah, pretty solid build. Yeah, I think pretty solid overall. Like I said, you're relying a lot on Pollard and Bucky to kind of hold down those RB spots early. But I think as long as they do, and they should be good to go for the season, like to be the lead guys in their backfield. I think RB should be fine. That's probably your weakest point though. But I think pretty solid overall. All right. Okay, Noah's at 5. All right. Wow, so we really did fill the entire draft except for Jay Dennis. This bastard who sniped 0 fucks on CJ Stroud was the only one not in the chat. That's crazy. Shout out you guys. Full friends and family draft, crazy. 2673 for Noah Sum. Trevor Lawrence, Jackson Dart, solid 2 QB room. Definitely good stopping at those two. Cam Scadbo, Bayshall, Ja'Cory Kresge Merritt, Zach Charbonnet, Isaiah Pacheco, Braylon Allen. It's pretty solid. I'm kind of thinking the same thing where like maybe I'd want a little bit better third, but you did get volume and I think it's pretty solid. You have 2 should be solid starters, maybe a little bit more question marks around them, but if they get the starting roles, then you're feeling really good. So maybe a little bit more risky with like JCM, Tootin, and then Charbonnet is your fourth. But I think as long as like Tootin or JCM's role works out, then you're probably fine. JSN, AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, Parker Washington, Makai Lemon, Ricky Pearsall, Malachi Fields. Yeah, that's a really strong receiver room. Yeah, really, really strong receiver room. Wow. Yeah. Goddard, Hawkinson, Ferguson, a little bit lighter at tight end, probably fine though. That's like okay enough. Receiver, really, really strong. RB a little bit soft. Maybe could have thought about putting a little bit more at running back since your receivers were so strong. Like, even by 5 to have Makai Lemon. I think that, that's really strong. So maybe could have done a little bit earlier help at RB and then just got a little bit more later at receiver that kind of swapped some of that value around with like where like Pearsall went or something. But overall, I think pretty solid build. And as long as like JCM or Tootin or both work out for you, then I think you can have a really strong team. You're just probably relying a decent amount on them, especially early season. And that's assuming Scadabo is like kind of the workhorse guy. Like I was kind of assuming that. But Tootin and JCM, as long as one of them can take over the role decent, you're probably fine. All right. King of QC. So we got Drake May, Malik Willis, 3573, Drake May, Malik Willis, Tua. Pretty strong QB room, right? Because you got an elite. Malik Willis is fine as a 2. Tua, hopefully he's starting all year, but earlier he gives you something, maybe during Willis's bye week. But yeah, strong, decent, strong QB room, like probably more decent QB room. James Cook, Derrick Henry, Trevion, Jonathan Brooks, Jaden Blue, pretty strong RB room, for like 2 really solid workhorse starters. Trevion, obviously kind of his own unique case where he's splitting time, but we know what the upside is. Brooks should have good upside, hopefully, and then Jaden Blue, the ultimate upside. You know, the ultimate upside in the whole NFL. Dallas is RB2, Jaden Blue. So like the running back room though, actually, like legit like the running back room a lot. Really like the, even the top three are really strong, and then adding on Brooks, hopefully some upside there. Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin, Cortland Sutton, Xavier Worthy, Romeo Dobbs, Ryan Flornay, Zachariah Branch. Yeah, I think that's a solid receiver room. I mean, yeah. I mean, Romeo as your 5, Worthy as your 4, Sutton. Yeah, and then you still have decent top end talent too. That's pretty good at receiver. I think that's like good overall. Likely Henry, Dulcich, fine at tight end, like decent. Yeah, I think it's pretty good overall. And running back and receiver both look pretty strong. Quarterback, you got an elite, and then tight ends like decent overall. Got some stacks in there too with Miami and New England. Yeah, solid team overall, King and QC. I mean, I would expect nothing less from King and QC. Usually building solid teams. I went Jaden, Nick's Love, hella strong QB room. Shouldn't have picked Nick's, whatever. It is what it is. Kenneth Walker, Quinshawn, Rashad White, Brian Robinson, Nick Singleton, Marshawn Lloyd. Kind of a mid running back room. I feel like a lot of people had similar running back rooms in this where it's like you have 2 that are like decently strong, and then like the third is kind of more questionable, and then just some upside swings. Kind of similar to a couple different teams in this lobby, but decent, not great, not terrible at running back. Amon-Ra, Neighbors, Burden, Godwin, Travis Hunter, Tank Dell, Dontavian Wicks. I think it's good, but it's kind of taking on some risk with Neighbors, obviously. But it can be a really good receiver room, especially if Neighbors is back, probably like before like week 4 or whatever, or not before week 4, but like by like week 4 or 6 or whatever, I'm probably okay at receiver. And then it's really strong if he's playing, right? And then Craft Strange at tight end, totally fine with that. I think that's a good tight end room, or, at least decent, like good enough. So I don't know. I feel okay with the team. Not my best build. Really messed up with that Bo Nix pick. Was just not paying attention at all. But team's decent overall. Don't hate it. Don't love it. Got some correlations, some stacks in there, but nothing too crazy going on. Is Thomas 0209. So you went 3582, Brock Purdy, Baker, Mendoza. Good QB room. Jonathan Taylor, Javonte, Chris Rodriguez, Woody Marks, Ray Davis. I feel like that's solid. Javonte and Taylor up top, C-Rod third, Woody, Ray Davis. Yeah, I mean, you're probably fine because you got like 2 guys who are the clear like top starters, and then 2 guys hopefully splitting work, contingent upside, clear contingent guy. London, Evans, Devontae, DK, Downs, Naylor, Judy, Troy Franklin. Yeah, decent receiver room, pretty good. Bannon, Juwan, good tight end room. Yeah, I think pretty solid overall. Probably like, yeah, I mean, maybe I guess tight end's probably fine. Running back is maybe a little bit light. It's probably fine. I mean, it's pretty balanced overall. I don't know. I think pretty good build. Yeah, pretty good build. And like receiver is a strength, so that kind of makes up for like, I think running back's kind of average and tight end's kind of average. So I think receiver being a strength that makes it pretty good balanced build. So you went, okay, you're the 4 tight end by accident though. Bat Wheat, Dak Prescott. So 3-5-6-4. Dak Prescott, Tyler Shutt, Cam Ward, good QB room. Devin A-Chain, Travis A-Chain, RJ Harvey, Tyjae Spears, Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good at a running back, right? You got 2 solid starters. You got the split work guy. Yeah, kind of a split work guy in Tyjae, but maybe a little bit more contingent upside. And then Kamara, maybe he split some work, and then old vet, maybe they give him some touchdowns or something near the end. CeeDee Lamb, Amika, Carnell Tate, Matthew Golden, Juwan, Darnell Mooney is a strong top 3, but I do worry a little that stopping at 6 might be a little bit thin here. Golden as your 4th is okay. You can bet on him to spike a lot or to like improve a lot in the second year, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Stopping at 6 though, a little bit thin. I guess you did get autoed the 4th tight end. That was an accident, like you said. But a little thin at receiver, right? You end up pretty thin at receiver for it. Warren, Laporta, Helm, Fryermuth. insane tight end room, brother. Great tight end room. Overall, I think the build is decent, but receiver is probably a little bit thinner than you want it to be. It's thinner than where you want it to be, probably. So, little bit of a weakness there, but other rooms all look good. Tight end looks killer, of course. But yeah, it looks like building decent. Maybe the auto at the end got you a little bit though. So that was Batwheat. We got Lautsy. We got Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young. That's solid. That's good. Good to get 3. I would definitely get 3 with Kyler and Daniel Jones. I think that's definitely a spot where you want the third, and you got a decent third, so it's totally good at QB. 3573 build. Ashton Genty, Kyron Williams, Jadarian Price, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell. Strong running back room, really strong top 4. Could have even argued you could stop at 4 with that, right? That could be a hyper fragile. But you did have the double week 11 bye, so maybe that's what kind of made you lean into the 5th running back. But then you throw on Keaton, so another high upside guy, hopefully. But really strong top 4. So I think running back super strong. Jefferson, Tet, DJ Moore, Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, Isaac Tesla, Torrey Horton. Probably fine at receiver, maybe a little bit worried about Pierce, but you got the discount for it, so that makes sense. You got Myers as a good floor guy. I think receiver looks pretty solid overall, like the top 3, so solid. Sadiq, Otten, and Joku, a little bit weaker at tight end, but if Sadiq can kind of take over later in the year, you're feeling good, but a little bit weaker tight end room, but that's fine. That's the least important position anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, I think pretty solid build overall, though. Yeah, I mean, the only position you kind of punted, like receiver is okay. It's nothing crazy, but I think it's okay or like good, right? With Tet, Jefferson up top. So receiver's like pretty good, pretty like average to good. Tight end's the only kind of weaker spot, but it's the least important. So it's like, I think with the strength at running back, this team's pretty good because that easily makes up for the little bit of weakness at tight end, and like quarterback is fine or like average. So I think with the strength at running back, it feels pretty good overall as a build. Because all the other rooms feel average, and then yeah, running back stronger. Cale Elliott. We'll have Noah's coming up for a while. Who knows? Maybe 4-10 will work for a sprint. It could. I like rookies. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So Cale Elliott. So you went 3-5-7-3. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Shadur Sanders. All right, yeah. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Shadur Sanders. I mean, that's solid. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers would be fine. You throw on Shadur there and maybe add some stack pieces or something, but just for an upside swing. Josh Allen and pretty much any starter who's not getting benched is fine, and that's, Aaron Rodgers. And then, yeah, like upside with Shadur, so I think that's fine. If not pretty good. You have the QB1, so it's pretty good. Omarion Hampton, Chase Brown, Kenneth Gainwell, Tyrone Tracy, Tyler Algier. I think pretty solid at running back. Like, honestly, a lot of us did a similar thing. You spend a little bit more with your like later 3, which I like. I like how you have kind of the double anchor. And then it's like all 3 of these guys are all guys who are going to be on the field each week getting touches. Maybe Gainwell is a little bit like higher echelon in that, where he's more of a 1B, and Tracy and Algier are more like change of pace. But they'll all be on the field. All 3 of these guys will probably be on the field every week. So hopefully like you can even get some flex weeks out of them. And then obviously all of them can really benefit from an injury, but hopefully just help give you that floor if you ever need it with like, those earlier bye weeks, 6 and 7, or just with the lower week from Brown or Hampton. Especially maybe like Brown, you expect like some weeks could be a little bit lower if they go super pass heavy or something. So that maybe one of these guys kind of fills in. But solid running back room, like the double anchor, like all 3 of these guys that you got behind it. Ladd, Christian Watson, Brian Thomas, Jaden Reed, Jordan Addison, Trey Tucker, Jeremy Bernard. Really solid receiver room. So you do a Green Bay double, didn't get love, probably got sniped or something. And then you got Jeremy at the end with Rodgers. I mean, I think it's a solid receiver room. I just noticed the double Green Bay, but like I think pretty solid receiver room. Even Addison by 5. I mean, that's like super strong actually. So BTJ, Ladd, yeah. No, I mean your receiver room's really strong. I like the Tucker and Jeremy late picks as well. And then Kittle, Dalton Kincaid, Darnell Washington. I think that's fine. You could have a little bit lower floor, but your spikes will be big with these two, and then Darnell, hopefully he helps a little bit, gets in the end zone a couple times or something. Um, and then you got him with Rodgers, obviously, was kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like this team's pretty solid overall. I think all the rooms feel decent. Like receiver feels really strong. Running back feels like pretty good, solid double anchor build with it. Tight end maybe a little bit lower floor, but should have really high spikes. And then quarterback, you have Josh Allen and Rodgers, so it should be good there. Yeah, no, I like that team a lot. Um, oh yeah. So someone must have sniped you on Love. I just realized that someone must have sniped you on Love. Yeah, yeah. Don't know who did it. My bad. Don't know who did it. Oh my god, that's funny. Um, that's funny that yeah, yeah. I stole Love. My bad, brother. I had him stacked though. I had craft, so that's fine. That's fine. I didn't snipe too crazy. A weekend time box draft, like you're right. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Fuck yeah, I hate Monoguy too, but I love building Bijan as a true hero. All right, fair. I like it. Usually I wouldn't touch RB until Rashad range and go 60, but since I went Brees, I just lean in fragile. All right, fair enough. And you had double anchors, so I mean that makes sense. I seen a video of Monoguy looking hella jacked. Zamir White, Zamir White type, Zamir White vibes coming off him right now. He was looking too jacked that offseason before he was a complete bust. But I mean, maybe if he's jacked, they did say he was moving like an old man last summer. So if he's jacked and moving smoothly right now, maybe I should pick a little more. Swish job is at risk or Zamir White ash jack. That was exactly yeah. Yeah. I just had that same exact thought. Enchan hedging my Geno is wild, man. Yeah, with the Klubnik. Okay, let's see. Geno is ass. I think Klubnik starts the playoff weeks to ensure the Jets tank for a franchise QB. See, you're literally picking this guy because you think he's gonna tank. All right, fair enough. I mean, hey, if you think he's gonna play in the playoff weeks, that's fair. And Geno getting benched not the craziest thing to think. Let's be real, not a horrible take. Hartman grading on a curve if Bucky Pollard are fine, but Bijan Brees felt fragile. Yeah, well, yeah, no. I mean, it's definitely on a curve. 0, you're getting the toughest grade out of anyone for sure. Um, no, I don't know. Sometimes maybe I don't give enough credit to like how much stronger your 1 and 2 are if the third feels a little bit shaky. I think when I was reviewing them, I wasn't varying enough my opinion on like, yeah, the difference between a Bijan and a Bucky is not just like, oh well, Bijan and Brees, Bucky and Pollard, you both have 2 starters, so your third being a little shaky is questionable. Yeah, it's not exactly the same. I was more just looking at it like a little bit macro, but yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I did say that a little bit. I tried to be a little more nuanced after, but I did say that a little bit. They might want to see what they have. Fuck man, lol. Enchan also great in a time backs less than 1% if you're right. Hartman allegedly has more influence than Peter over that some insiders are saying. No insiders are saying that. We did manage to fill the sprint draft, which I am happy about. I'm kind of surprised. I got this in the bag. My team fucks. All right, fair enough. We will see. We will see you in the sprint then. See money. I agree. It's worth a dart throw here and there for sure. It's sharp. I was taking Klubnik. Yeah. All right. That's fair. I took some too. Yeah. And Superflex. Yeah, for sure. Got to fade Brendan Sorsby now too, though. That's true. That's true. Your guy might not even be the hot rookie in New York. It might be Brendan Sorsby after the supplemental draft. That's not Bijan Hall though. Yeah, no, that's true. That's not Bijan Hall. LOL. That's a team will transfer. Go fuck. That's how it goes. JT Javante greater than Bijan Brees. No, Bijan Brees is better. Bijan Brees is better. That's how room flexing. Like the reviews. Hey, appreciate it. Hey, and appreciate all you guys stopping by. If you were enjoying the content, we got bogged down for a little bit, but hopefully if you were enjoying the content, enjoying the drafts, drop a like, drop a subscribe. I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys hopping in the draft and hopping in the chat. Definitely. I mean, I didn't do too great keeping up, but it's fun. It's fun to chat with you guys and talk. This is insane. You did it was playing. I need to see of that Stroud snipe had 1 Texan. Stroud snipe. Let's see where Stroud went. Who'd Stroud go to? Oh, that's the Dennis guy. Okay, that's the guy we didn't look at. fuck it, we'll look at his team too. It's the only one we didn't look at. So he did a 2.583 Mahomes Stroud, dog shit. What a sniper! 7 picks ahead of ADP, dumbass. Hopefully he's not watching, you know. But CMC, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Warren, Aaron Rodgers. So he had Warren, or wait, no, we were talking about Stroud, not Rodgers. Aaron Jones, T. Higgins, Rome, Tyson, Shakir, Debo, John Stribling, Ridley, Malik Washington, Kyle Pitts, Dalton Schultz right there. 10 picks ahead ADP too. He knew what he was doing. He had a plan. And then Eli Stowers, which, you know, honestly kind of fuck with this. It's actually a decent team. This team kind of hits. Their receivers, I guess. I don't love Shakir receiver 4. But yeah, the receivers kind of the fall off goes hard. So maybe I don't love it as much as I thought initially. But yeah, so he did get him stacked with Stroud. So at least he had that going. We all need to see that. I didn't even watch Heat, but I need to stack. Thanks, man. Oh yeah, for sure. Sure. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. The only bottleneck here is Hartman not having 3 sexy secretaries to go through chat. I know, right? For real. For real. Next upgrade. That's what's coming. That's what's coming for sure. Schultz. Okay. It is okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, hey, Schultz is, you know, he's something. He's stacked up. So, you know, it was more like a snipe, but Schultz is something. All right. So I think I think we're probably gonna stop there. I think if you guys want to watch some more best ball drafts, I think Fantasy Football Garage is live right now. Uh, so I'll paste that in the chat. If you guys want to check out some more, you know, sorry if you thought I was running one more and I rug pulled you. Um, you know, with all the team reviews and chatting, but thank you guys all so much for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. Uh, you know, and thanks for drafting with me. It was a lot of fun. I'll probably be back. I'll be back for sure on Sunday, maybe tomorrow in the afternoon. If you guys want to rip some more drafts, hopefully get some more of these sprints in. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by, drafting with me.